Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Peter Palmer podcast, where we attempt to read every issue of The Amazing Spider-Man week by week. My name is Mike, and with me as always is my co-host,
Sammy.
And also we have a special guest this week, Mr. Jordan Schulte.
Hello, how are you? I made that sound way too formal.
Tell us about you. Who are you? Why are you here in my house?
I'm here in your house because you invited me to be on your podcast, which I'm very happy about. Yeah. I met you guys last year. I was in a film that you directed.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever mentioned this on the podcast.
Yeah, that you guys are film students?
Yeah. We've mentioned that we're film students because we're always like, we're film students. But we haven't talked about Roommates, the short film.
But we also haven't talked about Control Delete, the other short film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't need to talk about it.
Did it win the award for best film?
Yeah, technically, I mean,
Yeah, it's technically. I saw that film, it was very good. I also saw Roommates.
Really?
The one that I was in.
You don't say.
It's funny because I just noticed before, like you said, in that corner there's all the stuff from Roommates. I can see the robe. There's a robe that I wore.
There's a reason it's slightly hanging out because I was thinking of grabbing it.
Wow, that's a nice robe.
Yeah. This is great for the podcast. There's like a silky robe that I had to wear as like some weird sex person.
Yes, I did steal it temporarily in between the shoot and the reshoots.
Yeah. So, how is the film going, by the way? Is it done?
Yeah, sound design is kind of done, but we haven't got it off her yet.
I was gonna say because this probably isn't interesting for people listening, but wait, maybe we should promote the film then. Now, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I reckon we'll plug it at the end.
There's a Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll plug the Facebook page and everything in the plugs at the end, and any other things you're working on or things you want to plug. Save it for the end.
Yeah. So you were the director of that. Well, co-director or the director.
I'm the director. Sorry, Claudia.
Is she listening to the podcast?
No,
probably not.
She probably doesn't even know it exists, to be honest.
No.
She lives in Noosa now, so.
Oh, does she?
She's, yonks away.
Yeah.
Where podcasts aren't even.
Where podcasts
a thing.
I can't even get to.
Yeah, they don't even get internet there, so.
Yeah, take that, Noosa listeners.
They just have to go outside. Can you imagine?
The 15 people listen to this, what if 8 of them are from Noosa?
That would be really strange.
And we just destroy them.
We have to be forward thinking. We'll have a following eventually, and they'll be listening back to the past episodes.
So don't say anything you'll regret.
And then you lose the Noosa crowd, that viable market of Noosa listeners.
We'll just bleep that out. Don't worry about it. We didn't say anything.
Including and especially Claudia.
Yeah.
Hello, Claudia. You were director.
She might listen to this one because you're in it. If you promote it on your Facebook or something.
Which again, no. Am I the first guest?
Technically, yes, you are.
There's
the
an
first
episode
guest.
that we retconned because it was really bad.
Yeah, we retconned an episode.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sammy was away.
So it didn't go out into the world.
It did, then we replaced
but it doesn't exist anymore.
So episode 7, we had an original episode 7 where we had Patrick on, and I was like, the bit's going to be Patrick. You have to pretend to be Sammy.
Patrick from
Patrick Mann
from school. Yeah. He's cool.
I was like, pretend to be Sammy for a whole episode and don't let the joke up. And he's like, all right.
Pretend to be Sammy.
But
it was so bad.
For some reason, he wasn't going along with my improv. He was like, no. I'm like, Patrick,
so
yes,
he doesn't
and.
basically know the number one rule of improv and it's to go with it.
He just kept saying no.
Yeah, I was like, you have to say yes and, Patrick. And he's like, this isn't improv, this is podcast. And I'm like, oh no. And it didn't even go for an hour. I think it just went for an hour because I was like, I'm done. I can't.
He literally walked out of the room.
Does that mean that there's that? Because you've deleted that episode.
It's not canon anymore.
So does that mean that there's issues that you haven't covered in this feed then? The issues of...
No,
I didn't read any issues in that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we just replaced that episode with a proper episode and pretend it didn't happen. And so now. So people know it happened now.
Well, I'm honored to be the first, air quotes, no one can see me, guest.
You're welcome. And we won't retcon this episode, we promise.
Oh, well, you might have spoken too soon. This could go hot. No, I'm joking. No, it's cool. I mean,
we've had Grace in the background of an episode.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything. She was there for our Venom commentary track.
Oh, yeah.
She watched the movie with us, but she didn't have a microphone.
Yeah.
And Patrick sat in another episode and didn't say anything.
You know what? I haven't seen Venom yet, so maybe I should watch it and then I'll watch it with your commentary track.
The first time around? Yeah.
The first time around with the volume off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Subtitles. Right. Anyways, before we talk about what we watched this week, I have something important to bring up. A couple episodes ago, I believe it was episode 5.
Oh, no.
Sammy made a bet with me where I said Black Panther will be nominated for Best Picture.
Wait, what?
And you were like, there's no chance. Let's bet on it. And I was like, all right. And you said $5, and I was like, $5 is not enough. So we bet $20 that Black Panther would win not win Best Picture, but would be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars.
I bet against it, and he bet for.
And guess what happened?
Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god! Okay,
okay. Here's a bank transfer.
Cha-ching.
There you go. Cha-ching.
there.
Yeah.
They just. She just handed him literally nothing. She just handed him air, and he put it in his non-pocket.
Yeah, he literally physical motions of it.
It's the internet age, so you can send it.
Yeah, I'll beam it to you.
Yeah, beam it.
I haven't seen the nominations. It got nominated for Best Picture.
Yep, so did Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Panther.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm like, yeah, fair. But a Marvel movie got nominated.
Bohemian Rhapsody has me more mad than Black Panther.
One of my friends is mad that Infinity War didn't get nominated, and I think that's stupid. No offense. I don't know.
See, yeah, you know, it would have made more sense if Infinity War got nominated.
No, I don't think so. Why?
It's because it's amazing.
Yeah, it is, but it's like, it's not.
Black Panther was a cultural achievement, but
Exactly.
Infinity War is like a. What do you call it? It's like
what do you call it?
Achievement and.
It's
Oh no! Did that unplug anything?
Did it? Sorry.
I hope not.
I didn't mean to.
Because then we'd have to start again.
Let's fake all our conversations.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. Anyway.
That'd be funny if you bumped the record button.
Oh, fuck. That would annoy me. No, it's a spectacle film, right? Right? Like, I don't know. It's
an achievement because it's a culmination of, like, 10 years of
10 years of hard work,
Yes.
yeah, and films and stuff.
But it also isn't because Endgame will be.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, did they end up following through with that bloody new category of like popular film or whatever it was?
No.
They didn't do. Oh, so
that's
they
why
haven't followed through on that.
That's why I had a feeling Black
Yeah.
Panther would get nominated for Best Picture. Because if they're scrapping the Best Popular category,
Then
I reckon they
they're
only
gonna-
did that because they wanted to nominate Black Panther.
Yeah.
Why were you
true.
so shocked that Bohemian Rhapsody got nominated?
I wasn't shocked. I just didn't like the movie.
Why didn't you like the movie?
It's not a movie, it's a music video.
What do you mean?
I talked about it in the podcast before.
Okay, sorry. We don't
It's
have to
it's just
go over it again.
So
but like,
vanilla. Like
it's a standard biopic.
yeah, it didn't.
But I've seen better biopics
Yeah,
that haven't been
fair.
nominated for
Fair
Academy
enough.
Awards.
Exactly. It's no Steve Jobs, but directed by Danny Boyle.
Yeah, fuck that. Oh my god. I want to watch that so
Yeah,
bad.
you
It
still
looks
haven't
so
seen it,
good.
have you?
Yeah. The soundtrack is amazing.
Nah, man, I'm more of a Jobs guy. Like just Jobs.
Just Jobs.
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher all the way. Yeah.
No, that was Ashton Kutcher, and I think it was Frick. Can we swear on this, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You obviously haven't listened to the. No, I'm kidding.
No, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, fair enough.
The first episode, you asked if we could swear, and I'm like, I don't know. It's our podcast.
I don't know. It's your own podcast.
Yeah.
No, Jobs had Ashton Kutcher and Josh Gad in it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, this one has Seth Rogen.
Seth
as
Rogen
the
and
little-
Michael Fassbender.
Michael
so
Fassbender
automatically better.
The Fass.
The Fast, yeah. His
Yeah.
best movie is Assassin's Creed. No, that's
Was
a joke.
it a terrible movie like I predicted?
It was real
Yeah,
bad.
it was really
Yeah.
bad. Which is
To be
like,
honest, some of
yeah.
the games have been kind of crap too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Me and Jordan were talking about video game movies before. We're talking about
Oh, yeah.
how Watch Dogs could potentially be a video game movie.
Could be, but
But
they
there's a
wouldn't do it
curse.
very well.
There's a curse. There's video game movies are always bad.
Yep, except Ralph breaks the internet.
Video game movie.
He's a video game character.
Yeah, but it's not a video game that exists.
Sonic's in it.
Okay, well, Sonic's in it. Okay, so
What
No,
about-
Detective Pikachu?
Detective Pikachu?
I remember a few years ago when they announced, oh yeah, a live action Pokemon movie is in the works. And we're all like, cool.
Yeah.
It could be really bad. It could be amazing. And then this is what they came out with, Detective Pikachu. And I'm just sort of like, okay, first of all,
Do
you're
you
going to
think
leave a lot of
Pikachu
people.
can say the N word?
No. Oh, maybe Ryan Reynolds can. But Pikachu just says Pikachu.
No. Oh,
Pikachu.
okay, true. Because his best friend's that dude, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, of
Well,
course.
Yeah. Or
not
not
get
best
into that.
friend. He's
Wait.
a cop, right? Is he? Nah, fuck.
Let's watch the film and just see if Pikachu, on the very, very rare chance he drops the M word.
Yeah. I think.
In this G-rated film.
In this
or whatever it
G-rated
is.
film.
yeah, it's G-rated film.
With cute little animated. That's what annoyed me about it. Like, I want to see a live action Pokemon film, but the Pokemon are like done more realistic. I want like a dark kind of take.
Where where
Like, no one's
Charizard will
Batman.
burn down the Twin Towers.
I want Charizard a bit the Twin Tower. Yes. Why the Twin Towers?
They have an opening montage where it's like historical events, but the Pokemon were behind it all. It's like Forrest Gump.
It's not a plane. This Charizard flies and just burns them.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, that was just the legendary.
You wanted to be dark. That's why I went there, dude.
It's like the Transformers movies.
I meant dark in the same way that like. Just like any of these superhero movies are dark. Like I don't want to see like a cute little animated pig. I want to see like a real mouse. Yeah,
A real
I don't know,
mouse.
mouse.
A real
Yes,
mouse.
a small tiny mouse
Ratatouille.
with a comically lightning shaped tail.
Yeah. You know what? We can make that movie. No.
We can. Legally.
Really?
Legally.
Nintendo will sue us so fast.
They'll try.
They
they'll
definitely
say,
will, and they will win.
Do you know who we are? We're the hosts of the Peter Palmer podcast, where every week we attempt to read every issue of The Amazing Spider-Man.
Week by week or something along to that effect. Anyway.
Something like
You
that.
nailed the intro there. That was a perfect intro.
Anyways,
What
did-
did we watch this week?
yeah, I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
but...
What did I
Are
watch?
you asking me?
No, you can ask me first.
All right, what did you watch?
Well,
Or read? Or do? We'll see.
Okay. Well,
Options
I'd
there.
like to talk about how I've caught up to Saga. I started reading it last month, and I've fully caught up.
Yeah,
I
you
went
read
on
that
a
so
Saga
quick.
binge. Yeah, I didn't buy the physical copies. You might hate me for that, but I couldn't wait.
No. You
I
have to
couldn't
wait for them
afford
to
it.
arrive.
So I bought them all on Amazon Kindle, and by God, it is one of the best comic series I've ever read in my whole damn life.
In my head.
In your head.
My head. I made it up in my head. No, Fiona Staples, I just want to do a little applause for her because she's amazing. Her art style is so good to the point where I wanted more. So I ended up buying the first issue of the reboot of Archie because she did the first 2 issues of that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
The person who made Saga.
the lady who draws for Saga,
Oh, okay.
she drew the first 2 issues of the reboot of Archie,
When did the reboot of Archie come out?
2016.
Yeah,
Is
probably
that
when
pre-Riverdale?
That's the same time about
Yeah, so that's why they would have rebooted it.
Yeah, they
because,
rebooted it because of
Yeah,
Riverdale. But
because it's amazing how many people who watch Riverdale don't know that it's based
that
on
it's based on
Archie
a
comics. Yeah,
and they're like they just
Which were
think
cool.
that it's so stylized just because, and it's like,
Yes.
well,
a
not
comic
really.
book
Yeah, it's a
TV
comic
show.
book.
And they're
Yeah.
like,
So many of them now.
oh, you think Jughead's hot? We should see him in the comics.
Oh yeah, him with his pointy ass fucking nose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many issues of how long has it been going for?
It's been going since like 2014. Hey, it's been a few
I thought
years.
it was earlier than that.
Yeah, it's in the 2010s, definitely. I forget,
Yeah.
2012 or something. But there's 54 issues at the moment. 54. I could be wrong. 57 or 54.
So if they did it monthly, it would have been quite a few years out now.
Yeah. But they've been on a hiatus for a really long time. So, yeah, I think another issue won't come out till next year, which is I'm really...
Next year.
Well, that's
Next
sucks.
year. Yeah.
Jeez.
I reckon next
really
year.
sucks.
That's my prediction.
How many issues are you up to now?
They've done... fifth. I've read all of them. So
Oh, you read all of
50,
them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, right.
Yeah, but... It ends on a really fucked up cliffhanger, and
Oh,
I'm
no.
just like dying a bit on the inside. I'm not going to spoil it because it's just
Yeah,
so
I want
worth
to
reading
read
all
it
of it.
eventually.
But it's definitely worth a read if anyone's listening. You can
True.
buy all the issues on Amazon Kindle, and they're pretty good value if you buy them in the volume format. So if you buy like
Yeah,
the
true.
collected volumes, so yeah, do that.
Yeah, I quite like what's the writer, Brian K. Vaughan.
Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah, I've started
Yeah.
reading Why the Last Man as well, which is his other.
Yeah, I don't know much about that.
It's basically in a world where all men or any living thing with a Y chromosome dies. Like at this one, like in an instant in the world, like
Oh,
every
I
dude,
know why the
Yeah.
last man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know this one.
except for a guy called Yorick and his capuchin monkey are the only 2 who didn't
That's
die.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
what kind of direction does that take?
So I've only read the first few issues. Like I haven't even read like the full volume that I bought. And basically everything goes to shit, obviously. And like there's a bunch of crazy deranged women called the Amazons who
Of course.
basically any male paraphernalia, anyone who like tries to associate with mourns men, they want to ruin that and kill them. And basically they think that the reason why all men died was for a reason.
Oh no.
Is it still recording?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
fine. Oh my god.
It's the second time now.
Oh my god, I have to like hold this. Anyway, so yeah, they think it was for a reason. So like they go around terrorizing people, and Yorick's sister. This is a bit of a twist in what, like the first few issues is part of
Okay.
that. So he doesn't know this where I'm up to yet. He doesn't know that his sister is an Amazon yet. But yeah,
Is this a male creator or a female?
male writer? Yeah, I don't know. I think the artist is a female or I can't remember, but a
Interesting.
male writer. Yeah, his name is Brian K. Vaughan.
That is a really interesting thing. Hey, the
Yeah.
idea of like, we said everything goes to shit. How interesting. Like
Yeah.
all males die.
Yeah.
And then what? What like I'm trying to think like what factors can make the world, you know,
Well,
collapse
actually,
in that way.
let me read this out because it's actually really interesting because this happens not like now. It was written in 2010 or something like that. So obviously there's more job equality at the moment, but there's this really cool panel in the
Okay, so it's post Obama.
yeah,
I don't know why that's an important
Post-Obama.
factor.
obviously
Post 9/11
During
as well.
Obama.
In the
Post 9/11.
it's 2002. Never mind, it's way
It's
before.
pre-Obama.
I thought
So
it looked
in the
a bit
summer
older.
of 2002, a plague of unknown origin destroyed every last sperm, fetus, and fully developed mammal with a Y chromosome. The gendercide instantaneously exterminated 48% of the global population, or approximately 2.9 billion men. 495 of the Fortune 500 CEOs are now dead, as are 99% of the
Yeah.
world's landowners.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah, in the United States alone, more than 95 of all commercial pilots, truck drivers, and ship captains died, as did 92% of all violent felons. Internationally, 99% of all mechanics, electricians, and construction workers are now deceased. So
Right.
yeah, basically, like the point of this panel is just to prove that like how big of an impact that would have.
Wait, so does this
Yeah.
mean that like it happened at once? So like planes crash, buses crash, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so it's not just like,
interesting.
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
so it was a whole bunch of other casualties as well because it just all happened. They just all died, basically.
Someone's dog died and shit. Like, well, a lot of people's
A
pets
lot of people's
died.
pets
and,
died.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
and like every cricket team you liked have died,
yeah,
except for the women's
which
one.
is so interesting. It's like there's a part where he like sits down next to this woman and she doesn't know that he's a dude, and she goes, "Oh, they're at this like shrine." And she goes, he asks her, "Who are you mourning?" And he goes, I forget which rock star, but basically she starts listing off all these like musicians because she goes, I just fucking realized all my favorite bands are dead.
Green Day are dead.
Yeah.
Linkin Park. Oh,
Linkin
wait.
Park. Oh, wait. That's so bad. Oh no, yeah, exactly. I thought that was interesting.
David Bowie's dead. Oh.
Oh, yeah, they actually
Michael
say that.
Oh.
She actually says David Bowie, but that's before he
Prince.
died.
Well, that's really interesting. And see again, Sammy, that's another thing that could totally be a good movie or a TV show.
And I'm sure
Yeah,
they
that seems like something they would make into a TV show.
I think they have actually.
Have they?
It's called The Dome.
Oh.
There's a
Is that
TV show
what
called
that
You mean
is?
Under the Dome?
Under the Dome. Yeah.
Is that what that is?
No, what? That's got nothing to do with men dying.
Really?
Under the Dome is a Stephen King novel.
Oh, never mind. Because when I searched up to buy Why the Last Man, Under the Dome came up as Did You Mean This?
What a weird
I know.
connection.
I don't even know what
funny.
Under the Dome
It's like
is
trying to
about.
search The Walking Dead and it shows you, did you mean, it's like Shrek or something.
Yeah. Did you mean
Something
Shrek?
completely
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then you go, no, and then a thing comes up, no, really, you might have meant Shrek.
Like, are you sure?
And it's like, why does everyone love Shrek so much?
Exactly. No, that's so interesting.
Yeah. But no, you should read The Runaways sometime as well.
That's
'cause
another Marvel one. Hey?
Yeah, that's Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah, that's
He did
true.
the first
yeah.
run.
I
And
really.
it's really, really good. Self-contained as well, so you can
Is that
just
the one
read
with
the
the
first.
dinosaur in it?
Yeah. Yes.
Is a dinosaur a person?
No, it's you'll see.
Okay. Is it like Beast Boy?
No.
Okay.
It's just a dinosaur, dude.
It's just a dinosaur? Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, but sure.
It does in context, but let's do a Runaways podcast, dude.
No.
A mini podcast.
Yeah, why
12
not?
A
issues.
side podcast.
Yeah. My
Yeah, why
side
not?
hoe is a podcast.
Should we talk about Glass?
Glass?
We
Oh
saw
yeah, we
Glass.
watched Glass. Sorry to exclude you again.
No,
from
that's
the-
cool.
Yeah.
I actually have questions because I haven't seen Split. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Glass. What's the first one called?
Unbreakable.
I haven't seen Andy's movie, so I have questions
Split?
about it.
True.
No, I haven't seen Split, but
I love Split.
yeah. Well, you said you're a James McAvoy fan
I'm a
in
big
general.
James
hey?
McAvoy fan, yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen Trance? I think it's called.
No.
What's
Is that? Yeah. Is it called Trance or Transcendence?
yeah, Trance.
No, it is called Trance.
Yeah, I've seen that.
the
Danny
one
Boyle.
where it's like, oh yeah, it's a Danny Boyle film,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
I need to watch more Danny Boyle films. Hey,
Yeah, this one's
I
not
like
his
Danny
best, but
Boyle.
I remember enjoying it. It's about like the painting.
Yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, and you see someone fully naked in it. Some actress.
Oh
you
yeah,
remember just seeing a
do you like
naked
how that's the thing I
actress?
remember? That? Is it Rosario Dawson?
yeah,
Someone right now is listening and shouting.
yeah,
at the
Netflix
podcast.
Marvel lady.
Oh yeah, right? No, I don't know.
Yeah, the nurse.
Yeah.
It's her.
Okay. Nice. Yeah,
That
Glass.
happens. So Glass, Glass.
I actually really enjoyed it. I feel like I
Yeah.
had a really good response to it when I watched it. I don't know, being in the cinema watching, I was like, wow. And I reckon it solely comes down to the fact that I watched Unbreakable and Glass,
Split.
Unbreakable and Split right before for the first
Yeah, yeah.
time. So I basically watched all three movies for the first time, like in sequence, and that like blew my mind. And I feel like I know this is like a bit of a like you shouldn't have to watch two movies before you see a new movie to make sure like you have a good experience, but I feel like that helped it. You know what I mean?
But I thought that they were like part
They
of
are.
the thing. So you,
yeah.
right? But
So
you could watch Glass without.
You could,
but
I feel
it-
like people
yeah.
get bored.
And I think that's why it has a lot of bad reviews. Is that people have gone in just going like, "What is this?"
No,
Yeah,
the critics
but
would have
that's just their
seen Unbreakable and Split.
Yeah, but like not critics have. Like, have you seen like the comments of like all their marketing is people going, "Oh, this movie was terrible," just
Yeah.
like normies, like
Or
not
normies,
critics.
yeah.
Yeah.
When did Unbreakable come out?
Like 2000.
Yes, that's the thing because
long
Split was
time
only
ago.
sort of just a few years ago, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Because the surprise ending of Split was like, it's just a movie, but then like the last scene, it reveals Bruce Willis at
And it's
at a bar and he's like, hey, remember Mr. Glass? And we're like, oh, it's the Unbreakable universe.
so that's the
Yeah.
twist. Yeah.
Wait, so wow. See, this is the I don't know anything about. So M. Night Shyamalan
Yeah,
made this Shyamalan movie, and then he comes out with another one. And says, oh, cool! It's M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, but at the end you realize it's the same universe.
Yeah,
Yes,
as Unbreakable.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And I remember everyone in the cinema was like, what does that mean? Because if you haven't seen Unbreakable, it's like, it's just Bruce Willis pops up and he's like, hey.
I haven't seen Split. You just spoiled the ending. I'm joking.
Lol.
Glass is a spoiler for Split.
Yeah, literally is. Yeah, the trailer for Glass is a spoiler for Split. So
Yeah.
You said you didn't like the last 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, so I'll get into what I thought of the movie. Sammy, can you explain how I felt about the movie after
He was
I
so
saw it?
confused. Like he kept on doing like the like take, like looking like side to side and like trying to. I don't
Was
know.
that during the movie?
No, like afterwards.
after, yeah.
You were like,
During the movie, I was just tilting my head and I was like, what? Because I was on board for like the first 2 acts of the movie.
Tilting your head to the side. What?
I was like this for the last part because I was like, what is going on? But no, the first 2 acts are like what you expect pretty much
Yeah.
from the trailer. It's like it all takes place in that mental asylum, and I thought it had interesting ideas of like maybe these guys aren't superheroes. Maybe they've put this all in their
Yeah,
head
I really
and it can be
liked the
explained through
whole-
science and everything. I was like, that's a
Yeah.
good angle because Sam Jackson even says like if it can be explained, then it's true.
Yeah.
So I thought that was going to be like the message, like it doesn't matter if they're superheroes or not; they can still do these things, and if you believe,
Exactly.
you can. And it happened, but then
that's
they do.
what I thought it was anyway.
It's not. They do all these stupid twists. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Does it wrap
I don't
up
want-
or like is there a thing for like another movie? Or?
It wraps up and then it leaves it open for another movie.
Oh, good lord.
It's just-
That you won't
I
know
wanna
is
spoil the
part of
ending.
the same universe. Then right at the end, Sam Jackson walks in and you realize
He
this
actually
is in
did it. Yeah.
2030.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick Fury walks in. It's the,
Fury walks
it's
in.
the MCU.
It's the MCU this whole
And this is the start
time.
of the reboot of the X-Men.
Oh yeah, the X-Men.
Tony Stark's gonna fucking be.
And no, wait a minute. No, listen. Nick Fury comes back. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson comes back as Nick Fury, and James McAvoy comes back as Professor X.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? Just ignore those 2 characters we played. Like, they never existed.
Well,
Do you
spoilers
guys-
for Glass.
Do you
They might not
guys
make it out alive.
have any? Is there any like updates on X-Men joining the MCU?
There's like vague updates, like because the Fox merger thing happened where Fox got bought out by Disney. So
Right.
technically, Marvel can make X-Men stuff now, but I think it's still
And we're never
very
going to
early
see
days.
another Wolverine. Like they wouldn't do that.
no.
I really just want the Fantastic Four MCU. I just
Yeah,
really want the
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
Mate, bring back bloody
Chris Evans.
Johan Gruffin. Yeah. Ignore that completely.
Yeah, kill him off as Captain America and he comes back as Human Torch.
And then,
oh my god, so when he martyrs himself in Endgame, that opens it up for him to come back as Johnny
That's
Storm.
it. He comes
lights
back as
himself on
Johnny
fire.
Storm. And then Michael B. Jordan comes back as fucking...
Yes, the other
Yeah,
Human
he's not
Torch.
Killmonger
old man.
anymore,
Yeah,
yeah.
Killmonger, yeah.
Wait, they both come back
I was
as
going to say
Johnny
it's Human
Storm.
Torch.
yeah.
Because they're both Human Torch.
Yeah, they both come back as the same character. They have to fight it out. It's another Spider-Verse movie, except it's into the Fantastic
Into
Verse.
the
actually,
Fantastic Four-verse.
in the comics, there are two Human Torches in like the 40s.
Oh, really?
Because like there was a original Human Torch that wasn't Johnny Storm.
Oh.
In like the very first Marvel comics, they introduced the Human Torch, but it was some
Sue
other
Storm
dude.
and Johnny Storm.
But yeah, then Fantastic Four, they introduced Human Torch as Johnny Storm. So there's two Human Torches.
Wait, in the Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan one,
I love Miles
are the
Teller.
Storms, are they brother and sister? in
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
adopted.
Adopted, yeah.
Adopted.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone was mad, like, when they first saw the trailer. Like, how can they
They're
be
like,
brother and sister
"What?"
if one's black?
yeah.
It's like think for like a second.
Yeah.
Just try and figure out how that could work.
It's like, have you ever lived in the world? 'Cause
Yeah,
That's what I said the other week. Like,
exactly.
have you gone outside before?
Yeah, probably not.
I know. Because I was watching in preparation for this. I was watching like old Sam Raimi, which you
yes.
you love the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Oh yeah, of course.
Are you all about it, Sammy? Yeah. Oh
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And then so like I remember the Fantastic Four came out with Johan
Yep.
Gruffin and all them, and then Hulk with Eric Banner,
Yeah.
which wasn't very good.
I love that
Ang Lee.
movie actually.
You like?
I like
You're
it
a
lot.
hardcore. You love all the old ones. Hey,
Not all of them. Daredevil's pretty shit.
Which is your
Affleck.
favorite Hulk
Affleck.
movie?
Ben Affleck.
My favorite Hulk movie is the Ang Lee one.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. The Edward Norton one's so boring. And people would say the Ang Lee one's boring too, but I think it goes pretty crazy in the third act. It gets all existential and weird.
I really need to rewatch it.
The final battle takes place in the clouds, and it's all just
What
Yeah.
the fuck? I don't remember this. Hey.
But
Nick
honestly,
Nolte going.
But honestly, though, man, like Spider-Man 2 train scene.
Yeah.
Nothing,
Spider-Man 2 is one of
nothing
the
in the
best.
MCU has
Yeah.
even come close to that.
Exactly.
no
It
way.
is amazing. I
Seriously.
just
There's better CG than some of the MCU movies.
Literally.
yeah.
That's why it won the Oscar, boys.
Yeah.
Alfred,
Yeah.
Molina,
Oh, boy.
as, yeah, and also Spider-Man 2, the game for PS2.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That was quite a not revolutionary, but it was quite popular. Like
Yeah, for
people
the-
still cite that as one of the best games.
Mainly because of the web swinging, because it was the first
web
one to
swinging
do
was
like
amazing.
manual web swinging. Because
Yes.
before then, like it was just automatic. Like when you swang, it's just like choo, choo, and you just stick to whatever.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man 2, you had to like
You actually need a fucking building to swing from.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first one, it just goes up in the air, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, okay.
yeah, you actually have to like hold down to like aim, and then you press to stick to the building.
Yes.
Then when you let go of the trigger, it lets go of the web. Like,
and then
it's really
also
good.
jumping in that game because
yeah.
you got the charge.
Yeah,
and
the charge jump.
And then,
yeah,
And now
good
look
stuff.
where we are now, boys. Spider-Man PS4.
PS4.
Literally,
best one.
Yeah, so good. Like right up there with one of the best games I've ever played. So there you go.
There you
Yeah.
go. So, anyways, Glass.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright, except
Yeah.
the ending where it got stupid. But I don't want to spoil it this week in case people want to go see it.
Yes, true.
I recommend it if you've seen Unbreakable and Split. You may as well watch the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? You won't hate yourself.
I'm just going to watch Glass on its own and
be
Oh,
interesting.
dude, come
and
on.
purposely not watch the other ones now. No, I'm joking.
Oh, like for a second, I was like, oh, okay.
No, what I'll do is
You
I'll,
wanna do that to
I'll
yourself?
watch Glass and then I'll watch...
Or at least
The
watch
Last King of
Split before you
Scotland.
watch Glass.
I'll watch
Well, what did you think of
The
Split?
Last King.
Because you saw Split for the first time as
Yeah,
well.
I don't know. I really liked Split.
It's an enjoyable little thriller.
I don't know. Props to James McAvoy. His
Yeah,
performance
he's the
is
most
so
entertaining
good. Literally, I love it. I love him in that movie. I love him in that role so much. I can't imagine anyone else doing what he does in those movies. What the? Okay.
That was James McAvoy.
That was James McAvoy right now, yeah.
He's just like, hey, no, yeah. Honestly, I can't imagine anyone
Yeah.
else doing what he does.
Very
yeah.
true.
Yeah, Sam Jackson was saying about like how it was like truly remarkable being in the scene with him and watching him just change into someone else like right in front of him.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
It's crazy because it's literally seems so real. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the idea, like, I think because my girlfriend went and saw Split, and then she was like, it's amazing how like all he'll do is just like it'll just be of his face, and then he'll just move his eyes differently or something, and then you know he's a different character.
Yeah,
You're just like,
exactly.
oh damn.
It's everything, yeah. I think
very
it's
good.
also comes down to like believing that. It's like the whole moral of like Glass, I guess, but until he turned it around, it's like,
Yeah.
you can do anything if you just believe you can, kind of. Isn't that right?
But then they're like, no, we're a secret organization that hunts down superheroes and tries to convince them they're not superheroes. And if we can't convince them, we kill them.
Yeah, you just spoiled the movie.
I was gonna say, how many spoilers have you dropped for Glass?
That was a spoiler, but also like that was one of the twists.
Yeah, that
There's like
wasn't
5
even
other
that
ones.
wasn't even
That
the
wasn't
big
the main
twist.
If
one.
for some reason you've somehow skipped to this far into the podcast, spoiler alert for the earlier
spoiler
part.
alert.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah.
Guys, anything else you watched of note?
No.
Because I'll just quickly run through what I've watched.
Go through it, yeah.
So last week I was talking about that Joaquin Phoenix movie, how I attempted to watch it 4 times and I never finished it because I either got distracted or I fell asleep or I couldn't hear the audio because my TV's shut. So I actually finished it this time, 5th time. It's called You Were Never Really Here. And it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and I think he's the only main actor of note. And it's directed by Lynn Ramsey of We Need to Talk About Kevin fame.
Good movie.
She's a good director, and it was a good movie.
I can imagine what that movie would be like, knowing what We Need to Talk About Kevin was like.
It's an interesting movie. Like, it's a bit more art house than...
Not
than I
a slow
expected.
burning film?
It's slow burning, but it's really short too. So, like, it's not, like, meandering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. It's probably my top 10 of last year. I'll be making a top 15 vid of 2018 soon. So that's why I'm catching up on all these movies from last year. But I recommend that movie. It's a nice little revenge flick. Joaquin Phoenix taking down pedophiles with a hammer is always fun.
That does sound.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It had
With a hammer.
yeah.
Great.
Gave me
weapon of choice.
Taxi driver vibes. Some of it. I think I mentioned that last week. And also, I was going to say Drive vibes, but it's a I guess you could say Drive vibes.
I was about to say,
but
it reminds me of Drive.
It's less
Speaking of
stylized.
pedophiles. Nah, that was terrible. I'm sorry.
Kevin
Oh
Spacey.
god, there we went there now. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't go back.
Yep. Didn't we talk about Kevin Spacey, like how he predicted his death on the first podcast
Yeah.
episode? Yeah, then he died the week after. Could you believe it?
Yeah, I know, right? I can't believe Kevin Spacey died.
In the canon of this podcast, Kevin Spacey's dead.
Yeah.
In this dimension. I watched 2 other movies just real quick before we get into these issues. First Reformed, starring Ethan Hawke. It's a movie from last year. It's an A24 film, so it's a lot of slow ambient noise and tracking shots.
Pretty lighting.
And a muted color palette. It's one of those
really?
A24 movies.
Oh, one of those A24.
Yeah,
movies.
and then the ending makes you go, huh?
Okay. So it's definitely an A24 movie.
Yeah, but it's
It
really
makes your
good.
head
I really
tilt
enjoyed it.
to the side.
It's a
She's
good
like a dog.
Yeah, it's a good story about a man looking for salvation for his past mistakes and
Sounds like a
Meaning
movie
in
Ethan
life.
Hawke would star in.
yeah, and it's very layered. It's got a lot of layered characters and themes and all that good stuff that I probably didn't get the first viewing, so I'll probably watch it again soon. But yeah, it was a great movie. Really well directed. It was directed by Paul Schrader, who I didn't recognize the name, so I looked at his filmography, and he used to be a writer for Martin Scorsese films.
Oh, bro.
He wrote Taxi Driver and all that stuff too. And then he directed this movie with Ethan Hawke. So good stuff. And I also watched Blind Spotting as well, another movie from last year, which I don't know
It's
if
like
it's
a buddy cop movie.
yeah, it's not a buddy cop movie.
No, sorry, buddy cop. It looks like a
Yeah,
buddy
it's a buddy
movie.
comedy.
Yeah.
But it just has a lot to say about race and the.
Who's in that one?
I don't know if there's any actors of note because I didn't recognize any of the people in it. Yeah, no.
Okay.
The main dude's called David Diggs, and I don't recognize him from anything else. I'll quickly see.
True.
He was in Zootopia, but I wouldn't recognize his face from that movie.
Are you sure?
Somehow.
But no, Blind Spotting is really good. I thought it was very accessible, kind of, because there's all these race movies these days bringing like light onto issues happening in America. But I thought this was done in a way where it doesn't force a message down your throat. It's internalized through the characters, and it's more about them and how they deal with this conflict and stuff. And it's done in an accessible way where it's like a buddy comedy, but that doesn't undercut any moments of tension or moments where it gets real into it. Yeah. And the climax was really powerful, I reckon. Because they have this whole motif, well, not motif, but throughout the movie, they do like little freestyle raps just for fun, like when they're chatting. And the last one involves a freestyle rap, but like it gets real intense. And
Like that part in Widows where they make those two guys rap and they just shoot one in the head.
It's almost as intense as that, to be honest.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty intense. I can't believe Widows didn't get nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Last thing before we get into Spider-Man, the Oscar noms. What do you think of them?
Yeah, what do
overall?
you think of the... have you seen them?
No, I haven't.
Show.
You can
Give
bring
a
them
good
up.
show.
Oh wait, oh yeah. In my hand, I'll just do the old.
We're almost 40 minutes into the podcast, by the way.
Really? I'm sweating, dude.
That's all right. I'll race through my one because nothing happened in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there is a comic series I wanted to talk to you guys about because I've been smashing it lately. If we have time,
Yeah.
if we do
Yeah.
not, that's totally
That can be a longer episode.
cool. Black Klansman, Best Picture nom. Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
nice.
I enjoyed that movie.
Have you discussed A Star Is Born on this podcast?
No, that was pre-podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was pre-podcast.
Yeah.
We've probably mentioned it before, I'm sure.
It's
We've
definitely
gone like,
more deserving
hey.
than Bohemian Rhapsody, in my opinion.
Oh,
Who do you
for sure.
reckons-
Because I said it's like a better Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon's got the Best Actor nom? Rami?
Oh,
God.
We're all just like, if only Sacha Baron Cohen
I know.
played.
Yeah.
He just looks so much more like him.
And he would just pulled it off. He could, but I think he probably didn't like the script.
Yes,
Yeah.
he said like
Yeah.
the band wanted to take it in a different direction. He's like,
Yeah, they wanted to
it's
make it
quite strange.
PG, whatever movie it was.
Oh man, Sam Elliott was.
Oh,
Sam Elliott.
so
I'm fine
Yeah.
with, yeah, he
Sam
could
Elliott
win.
was so good.
Did you see Vice?
No, not yet.
No, I want to see that.
It's out right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently the editing's really interesting. Like I saw a clip and it looks like a meme.
What?
There's a bit where Christian Bale and Sam Rockwell are talking and Christian Bale says something and then like it freeze frames on Sam Rockwell and it like zooms into his face. And it's like, I thought it was a Twitter edit. Then I looked up the actual clip on YouTube and that's how it was edited. So that's interesting.
That is so.
That actually made me want to see it.
I wonder. Well, Into the Spider-Verse got nominated for Best Animated
Yeah,
Feature,
that's gotta
rightfully
win, right?
So. Do you reckon it'll win it, or
It's gotta.
Incredibles
It has
2?
to. No, Incredibles 2 can't win.
Isle of Dogs was pretty good too, but Into the Spider-Verse.
Isle of Dogs is the only one that I reckon
Has
they
a-
might
yeah.
vote for it instead.
That was
But
fantastic.
the Isle of Dogs
loved
fucking
it.
storyline has nothing against Into the Spider-Verse's storyline.
Yeah, I reckon Spider-Verse has got it in the bag.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, Black Panther, man. It's
Good
only a
year
matter
for
of
comic
time.
book movies.
Only a matter of time until Endgame fucking wins Best Picture.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time till all the Oscar nominations are comic book movies.
Yeah, well, that's probably what would have happened if they did that best popular film category.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Solo got nominated for Best Visual Effects.
Solo.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Remember that movie?
Yeah. I actually don't because I fell asleep during
You
it.
did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It
I fell
really
asleep
got
during the
shredded,
best
didn't
bit,
it?
The Kessel
apparently.
Run.
The Kessel Run.
Kessel Run, yeah.
I find it interesting that Roma got nominated for Best Picture and Best Foreign Picture.
Yeah, what's with that?
That's, yeah.
What if it wins both?
That would be interesting.
I mean, it will definitely win Best Foreign Language.
But I like how a Netflix movie has been nominated for best
Yeah,
picture.
well, it wasn't.
I think that's really
It
cool.
wasn't meant to be Netflix released originally. I don't think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
well
because I
then-
wanted to. It was released in theaters as well.
Okay, that's a meme. All right.
Because I was gonna see it, but then I was like, oh, come out on Netflix next week. I need to save money.
Olivia Colman's been nominated for Best
The
Actress.
Favorite?
I reckon.
Have you seen The
yeah, she's
Favourite?
got
I
to go.
haven't, no. But,
Oh my God.
Olivia Colman, I used to watch her on this like sketch comedy show from way back in the day.
Oh, right.
And I got to know her through there. And obviously she's like a pretty established British actress. But it's so cool to see her like on this really, really dumb comedy show. And then now she's like nominated.
now she's nominated for Oscar. Yeah,
Well, that's
Yeah,
why she was so
pretty cool.
funny in that movie then, because
Yeah.
she's
she's hilarious.
all about the comedy.
The scene where she's eating the cake, one of my favorite scenes. Oh my God, so disgusting.
It's a good movie.
yeah, Lady Gaga probably won't win it. Hey. It'll probably go to...
No,
If they give it to a first-time actress who used to be or who is a pop star, I think everyone would kind of get a bit salty about that.
well, this year's noms are pretty whack in the first place, so I don't really care about any of them. Like the last couple of years have been really good for Oscar noms. I remember last year was a really strong year, like in the Best Picture category.
Shape of Water won. Hey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget
Yeah.
about that for some reason.
I was a bit iffy on Shape of Water winning, but yeah.
Fish dick.
Yeah.
Can't go
Hey, you
past
like
the fish dick.
sticks? hey, guys, you like fish sticks?
Fish dicks.
You're a gay fish.
That's all I know about that film.
All right.
I find it weird First Man wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, First Man wasn't. It's almost had it in the bag in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought so. Not First Man. Widows didn't either. Beale Street, if Beale Street
yeah.
could talk, that was meant to be really good. Yeah, a bunch of others that didn't get any stuff. So
What
that's
happened?
a shame.
Yeah.
Just Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, whatever. Let's stop talking about Bohemian Rhapsody.
I didn't mind it. I quite liked it.
Oh,
I
first-
mean, you know, like
It's enjoyable, yeah.
It's a biopic. It can
Yeah.
only, you know, yeah.
First Reformed got a screenplay nom. I didn't realize that. That's the one I talked about just before, the Ethan Hawke. Good stuff.
Pretty good.
All right.
All right,
Mike.
time to get into Spider-Man.
That's right. This
Finally.
is a Spider-Man podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
40 minutes into the podcast. That's
Yeah.
right.
We always forget.
That can't be a record. I think we've done longer.
Yeah, probably.
You can do the people listening a service and put a timestamp in the description.
Yeah.
as to when we actually talk.
I was thinking about doing that from now on, but then I'd have to do that, wouldn't I?
Yes, you would.
Anyway,
Do it.
issue 35, The Molten Man, Regrets.
Yeah, what a weird title.
I know. I was looking at that for ages before, and I was like, why is it called The Molten Man
What
Regrets?
does he regret? Like, you know what I mean? Just regrets. Like, he just regrets
I don't
being
think we
alive,
find out.
or...
He just is it like regrets as in like the verb, like he's regretting.
Yeah. It doesn't say what he regrets, never refers to any one thing.
Yeah, the first panel's a spoiler. It spoils how Spider-Man defeats the Molten Man, which I think is
We're
pretty
off to
funny.
a great start.
So this one will be really quick because nothing happens in it. Molten Man gets let out of jail. He's dressed pretty nice for a man that's in prison. He's wearing like a little business suit. And
Actually, yeah.
I thought that was
Why
pretty
is
good.
he wearing a suit? Oh, he might have gotten dressed for this court.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
maybe.
because he goes to a court hearing. That's true.
That's what they do, yeah.
And they're like, you've offered to pay for the damages you've caused, so I'm giving you a suspended sentence, Raxton. Then we see him let out into the world, all molten manned up. Still in a business suit and hat. He looks pretty good. Then he goes home and just starts bending metal. Because
He just starts bending
a strong
that,
guy.
as you do.
He just has a few
like,
2x4s.
I know, I don't know where he got all those
in
from.
his house.
he's got beams of metal and he's just bending them.
fresh out of jail, gets beams of metal.
Gets metal.
Yeah, he went to Bunnings, dude.
He went to Bunnings.
Then he crushes like not a concrete pole, like a brick post, just because he can. And he's like, Spider-Man beat me the first time, but I didn't realize how much power I had, so now I can do good stuff. Cool. So then we see him walk into a jewelry store in a disguise. Just a regular guy disguise. And he's like, show me your finest jewels. And the jeweler is like, all right, I'll show you the finest jewels. And he opens the secret safe. And he's like, I'll have them for you in a moment, sir, just as soon as I open the safe. And then Molten Man's like, zoinks, and punches him, pushes him over, and he's like, you don't have to show them to me, I'll just take them all. And then the jeweler pulls out a gun. And he's like, you're nothing but a crook. Well, you may have fooled me, but you won't get away with it. And then he shoots the Molten Man, but because he's the Molten Man, bullet does nothing to him. And then he crushes
Where
the
are his
dude's...
organs?
The jeweler just has a gun on his person.
Yeah.
I guess the
It almost
60s.
makes you wonder, because I know when in jewelry stores there are security.
Yeah.
Do they have guns?
In the 60s, I'd say for sure.
Yeah, in the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. Then Molten Man crushes the dude's gun, just like an eggshell, it says.
An eggshell.
And
That doesn't backfire on him.
what do you know? Spider-Man swoops in, as he does. And he's like, what's going on here? You're stealing some jewels?
What's going on here? You're stealing.
Just
stealing some jewels over here?
robbing some...
And then the Molten Man walks him in the face, and Spider-Man's like, why is this dude so tough? He must be some guy I've met before.
Does he not
'Cause
just, like, burn
he can't
his
just be a
hand?
regular man. I don't know. No, 'cause he's wearing gloves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's right. He's in a full bodysuit.
Yeah, hang on a second. What's his? Is it some sort of metal alloy that's he's covered in?
Yeah. So it was issue 28, I think. It was.
25.
25. It was 20 something. And Spider-Man or Peter Parker's in this lab. I think it's Alistair Smith's lab, and some dude runs in and tries to steal a liquid alloy.
Yeah.
And then something happens and it goes all over his skin.
Especially
Doesn't kill him.
No, it doesn't kill him.
I read the issue because in one of the panels it says like as depicted in Spidey 28. So I went and reread that and I was like,
yeah. So that was the one.
oh, okay. But like it keeps talking about how it's like he has like a smooth surface on his body, so it's hard for like to Spidey's web to stick to him and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, it's like liquid.
So is he hot or is he
it's like
tough?
Molten Man to me it sounds like Lava Man, like Lava Girl, Lava Boy, yeah. But Molten Man obviously like liquid
like
metal,
solid, like
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's always some character like that, like just some like is it Colossus from X-Men?
Yeah,
Who's like another big
true,
fucking
yeah.
alloy.
Well, Molten Man, could be in Far From Home if that's who
that's
that
right,
is in the
yeah,
trailer.
exactly.
Because there is a little Easter egg in the trailer apparently that in the background of one of the shots it says like ASM like and the number, and if you look up that issue it's the Molten Man.
Are you
Returns or
serious?
something.
Yeah,
That's
in the back of the
crazy.
boats, like when they're on the river, it
Yeah,
says,
then oh yeah, that one. If you look that one up, it's Hydro Man.
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if they put those Easter eggs on there, that must be
Yeah, they're
meaning
not
that they're-
stupid. Yeah.
yeah. It would be weird if they did that. Like, oh, jokes. They're not Hydro Man and Molten Man.
Yeah, but
they
then
just did that for a laugh.
They have also said the next movie, Avengers movie, is not called Endgame, and then
and then
it
it's
is
straight up
Endgame.
Endgame.
Yeah, but I feel like it's different if you're putting like specific issues
Yeah,
in the
Yes.
trailer.
Also, Amazing Spider-Man 2, which obviously that stops, but like fucking Sinister Six, like Doc Ock arms, and then
I
like
thought
all
that
the
was
stuff.
hilarious.
Yeah, that was hilarious actually. Yeah.
Because what were they going to do in the next film? Were they just going to get people off the street and be like, "Here's some octopus arms.
Yeah.
Here's some vulture wings."
Just kids on a tour, just fucking Oscorp.
Just no origin stories. They just go to Oscorp and line up.
They just line up. Here you
line
go,
up.
little boy.
That's pretty much
That's
what the
it.
Rhino did, didn't
I was gonna say and then the next one will just have like 8 villains to fight.
he? Yep.
Rhino. Ugh.
Sinister.
was-
Wait, the
Sinister Six movie could have been interesting.
I guess.
Drew Goddard was going to direct it.
Oh my god. Okay, would have been interesting. Yeah.
He did El
Yeah.
Royale this year.
Yeah.
Or last year, sorry.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't care for it, but I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah. Bad times at the El
I've been seeing a lot of people come around to it. Anyway, back to this comic. Molten Man runs away because he hears the cops coming. So Spider-Man's reevaluating and he's like, all right, I've got to get out of here. I wonder who that dude was. And we see Molten Man arrive home and he takes off the mask he was disguised as, because his disguise is just a regular dude. I think I said that before. And he's all like, I left empty-handed. In the excitement, I left the loot behind. Spider-Man fooled me once more, but I won't let it happen again, because if he does, I'll finish him off for good.
Ooh, jeez.
Then Peter's thinking the next day, he's like, I wonder who that dude could have been. I have to find this out. Boy, he packed a punch as if he was made of iron. Iron's a metal. And his punch
Iron
felt
Man.
like a metal.
Is it Iron Man? He calls
so
every
funny.
single Iron base hero around.
But then he's like, it could be a long shot, but I reckon it's the Molten Man. I'd bet on it.
Oh, wait,
So-
I'm sorry to interrupt again, but has he met, which issue 35, has he met any other heroes or anything like that?
There was one in the Spider-Man annual, because like every year they do like a special like Spider-Man issue where it's like longer. And in the Spider-Man annual, the first one, they had heaps of cameos from like the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's pretty much just to advertise those comics.
Yeah.
So Iron Man would show up and be like, hey, Spidey, how's it going? Then at the bottom it would say like, Iron Man appears in his own comic each month. and
yeah,
Tales
yeah.
of suspense, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And pretty much all of them showed up in that, didn't they?
Yeah, Thor.
He was walking down the street and Giant Man and the Wasp were hanging about.
Yeah.
And then Thor swung by. Then, he's run into the Hulk a bunch of times, actually.
Well, that's like, because you talked about the original Spider-Man, the very first Activision Spider-Man game that came out years and years ago. And in that, he runs into the Torch.
Yeah.
And then, like at the end in the prison cell, Captain America's there.
Yeah. I was
and
talking about this
Daredevil's
game
there.
last week.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you remember that game because that was a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, because the issues, it was either last week or the week before, that Scorpion one was pretty much like that one level where you have to race to the bugle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scorpion was so cool.
Yeah, he's freaky.
I want to see him, and he's a great villain. Just bring him into
Spider-Man PS4, and he's really he has a fucked up level where he swing through all this, Anyway,
he was in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he was. He was Mexican in the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. He looked weird though. I didn't like his costume.
Yeah.
So anyway, Spider-Man sneaks into the Molten Man's apartment, and he's like, "Whoa! Turns out I was right. There he is now. So I'm just going to place a little spider tracker on his coat." And his spider tracers, they're not very subtle. They're pretty big. And
he doesn't even hide them. He just slaps them on.
Yeah, they're not even translucent or anything. They're just a huge red spider. So I'm surprised no one ever sees those when they're attached to them. That's all right. So he heads on home and waits for a signal so he can catch Molten Man doing his next crime. So he gets a signal. He sees Molten Man, and he follows him down a shady alleyway, seeing what he's up to. And we see him break into the back door of somewhere. Not quite sure what it is yet, but Spidey starts snapping pictures to get some evidence, and also picks for the bugle. And he shines his Spidey light on him, which I feel like he doesn't use that consistently. That's just the thing he does sometimes, isn't it? The Spidey light.
Yeah, I barely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good reason why that hasn't made an appearance in any.
Very Batman influence.
Yeah, right.
It's appeared once in the movies, in the after credits of Civil War, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In Civil War, because he gets home and he's like fiddling around with his web shooter that he got from Mr. Stark.
Oh, in his room, and then it
shoots up to the roof, and it pans up, and it's the Spider-Man logo.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't use that in Homecoming or anything.
Yeah,
so,
for any practical use. Or seems very impractical.
So yeah, then Spider-Man starts webbing him up, but then Molten Man goes sicko mode and rips off his clothes. And he's like, "You can't stick webs to me, boy. Don't you remember?"
Molten underwear.
Yeah.
I thought I was just like, of course,
Yeah. Would you wear molten underwear? It's like a permanent chastity belt or whatever you call it.
Quite literally, this man will never find love.
Yeah, that's
he
terrible.
cannot settle down.
So
It'd be funny if just every panel they obscured his groin.
Yeah.
Like that scene in
His
Austin
molten
Powers.
groin.
Do you remember that? Where he's naked, but the camera keeps panning slowly, so something's conveniently blocking it.
Oh
every
yeah.
moment.
They copied that in the Simpsons movie, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They sure did.
Yeah.
That was a weird bit in the
boys
Simpsons movie, hey?
Yeah.
The chip on the window, Ned holds up the chip and it's just covering Bart's tiny, tiny penis.
Yeah,
Just
But then you
He is
see it
10.
anyway.
you're just this is a...
I don't know if I'm okay with this.
You're
yeah.
what, Simpsons? Really? Is this what we do?
I can understand why, because I remember as a kid, used to talk to people and they used to be like, "Oh, my parents don't let me watch The Simpsons," and now I understand.
Yeah, and I was always like, why?
Yeah, well, some episodes were a bit more
Yeah.
you can see why, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, in this comic, Spider-Man and Molten Man just punch for a bit. And there's even a little bubble at the top that says, "We promised our letterer that we'd allow him to go wild with the sound effects." So
I love that.
for the next 2 pages, just all punching sound effects.
I love these little jokes they put in there.
Yeah.
They talk to you and be hey, yeah, the guy.
So you get thwop, patui, brock,
The tinkle,
Brock was a good one.
pow, walk, splat,
like a
kapop,
like a
walk. But then Molten Man gets the upper hand and starts squeezing Spider-Man.
he squeezed.
And he's squeezing him real hard.
I would squeeze Spider-Man if I met him.
Yeah, he's doing what's the split thing.
Winks.
No, McAvoy in Split, he
he does
just
the same
squeezes
thing.
people.
Yeah,
that's
in
what he's
Split,
doing.
it's just how he kills people. He just hugs them to death.
And then he says, "No bear hug can stop my weapon from zipping up to the ceiling and stick me there." And Molten Man's like, what good will that do you? And he's like, I was hoping you'd ask. Watch this. And he does like a little flip by shooting some webs on the roof and using them to like flip him around. And the momentum flips Molten Man onto the floor. And he says, hold that pose, mister. But Molten Man won't let up. He starts throwing shit at him, going crazy. Then they take the fight outside. Spider-Man chases after him.
Let's take it outside.
Let's take this outside,
You
boys.
meet outside.
Wait, isn't that what like Aunt May keeps saying in that fight into the Spider-Verse? Yeah, she's like, I told you to take it outside.
Yeah, so Molten Man tries to run away from the fight, like he would.
Little bitch.
But then Spider-Man's hiding in the shadows. He's like, you better figure out fast, chum, because I don't want to hang around here waiting for you much longer. And he's like, it isn't possible. It's like, you just saw him like a few seconds ago.
We're just fighting.
Anyways.
That's so funny.
Yeah, then they keep punching. That's all this is, really.
Yeah, I think on the front page of this issue, it says like, lots of action in this one or something like that.
And when I read that, I was like, because if you've listened to the previous episode, it's like, I'm not big on the action-heavy issues of Spider-Man, surprisingly, because like, unless they do something like really inventive, I find them kind of boring. Because
it's not cool action. Yeah, it's not the cool
you're just looking at Spider-Man punch dudes.
Each other, yeah.
Because it's the 60s. So it's
However, amazing commentary from the combatants because it's a 60s comic and they describe what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like
they over-describe, if anything.
Yeah.
Especially those first few issues.
Yeah.
They'd be like, and then Spider-Man clung to the wall thinking about what would happen if Aunt May doesn't make it out of this.
If only all these MCU movies were true to the form and just had
like the voiceover.
Them, what they're doing.
That's why I love the Sam Raimi movies, because he's always monologuing or like there's voiceover bits. Like he'd just stand there and he'd be like, I don't know what I want in life. And you look back and you're like, that's stupid. But then you're like, that's what the comics are. Like it's just Spider-Man standing about thinking. And they do that with the villains too. Like all the villains in those movies just sitting there monologuing.
Oh, so much monologuing.
Yeah.
Especially Doc Ock.
I was about to say Doc Ock.
Willem Dafoe though.
Yeah.
Especially.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think in the end when he's fighting Electro, there's a part where he says something which reminded me of that line where he goes like, no, my web shooters don't react to something or whatever. And I'm just like, that's such a line from a comic. Like you just explained the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Just full exposition, yeah.
Whereas comics now, you read them and they don't need that. You can just see what's happening. You know what's going on.
Yeah, there's actually like read between the lines now.
Anyways, we're almost done with this. Spider-Man led Molten Man to this little spot because he had these secret ropes that he invented. They're kind of like shackle things, or like they're like a lasso, like mini lassos.
All right,
they lassos around the Molten Man's wrists, and once he does that, he pulls on his wrists and ties them to his feet, so then Molten Man can't move. Then he hangs him out in public with the spider signal so the police can see him. And Molten Man's like, you don't even have any evidence that I did anything wrong. And the police are like, don't worry, Spider-Man's put in a good word that he's going to provide proof.
Yeah, he left them a note.
Yeah, he left them a note. That's a very Spider-Man thing to do. He always leaves a note.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. Then Spidey swings on home. And we see at the police station, Molten Man's like, you haven't proven anything yet. And then Spider-Man swoops in with an envelope and he's like, the proof you need is in here. And they open it up and it's all the photos he took while he was snooping around of Molten Man breaking into places and stealing stuff. So,
and he's got it too. Like Molten Man's looking at those photos
like,
just like, what?
Yeah,
how could this be?
Such a stitch up.
He's like, shots of me in disguise breaking into the shop. How?
Yeah, saying it out aloud, just confirming the confession.
But yeah, then back at the Bugle, Peter's like, I hope I don't run into Betty. I'm too nervous. And then he's like, hello, Betty. Oh, wait, you're not Betty. And it's that black-haired lady from the last issue. We don't know her name yet. So, that's a bit weird. I guess it doesn't matter. And then Peter's like, well, where's Betty? Is she on vacation? And this mystery lady is like, nah, she doesn't work here anymore. She left something with me that I was meant to give to you when I saw you. And Peter's like, what? What is it? And it's a photo of him. He's like, my photo? Is this all? And she's like, yeah, it is, I'm afraid. And Peter's like, all right, what about Ned Leeds then? Did he leave
Oh,
too?
jeez.
And then she's like, yeah, he did actually, to the West Coast, actually. But I'm still new here, so I'm not sure of everyone's whereabouts. And Peter's all shook up because he's like, oh, I wanted to marry Betty, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. The past few issues he's been whumping at about
Being
this.
a sad boy 2001. Windows XP noise.
Legit.
Yeah.
But he's like, here, whatever. I brought these photos for Jameson. He can have them. Who cares? And then the lady's like, what about your check? And he's like, just ask him to mail it to me. I'm too grump.
Mail me a check.
Yeah. Then the lady's like, you forgot your picture. He's like, my picture?
Just chucks it in the fucking
Yeah, he chucks it in the bin because he reads it. It says, to Betty, forever, Peter. And he's like, forever? I wonder when I wrote that. Must have been a lifetime ago. Chucks it in the bin. The glass shatters. The end.
And then it's sad boy walk off and it's the end.
Yeah.
Rip.
A lot of issues end like that. Just Spider-Man getting real sad, then he walks off. And it's a shot of his back as he walks down the street.
Yeah, like down the street or like the New York cityscape or something like that. Yeah.
I still back Betty, like Elizabeth Banks in the Raimi trilogy.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
then
that's right.
they've
Yeah.
actually, Tobey Maguire and Elizabeth Banks have actually starred in a lot of movies together as a couple. And so like,
really?
Yeah. I can't remember the other one, but there was one a few years ago and the interviewer was like, oh, so Peter finally got with Betty. And like, haha, yeah.
Yeah, and they just got
They're so
sad
over those
because,
movies.
Yeah, they really are.
Especially Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, she's so over people like asking her about them and
Yeah,
being
'cause
like, how do you feel about there being another reboot? She's just like, oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, she's like, we made the best ones. Shut up about
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who the fuck is Zendaya? What is this one name?
Yes. Michelle Jones.
Not even Mary Jane.
Yeah, exactly.
Who voiced Mary Jane in the Spider-Verse?
It was
someone-
Zoe
Zoe
Kravitz.
Kravitz,
That's
yeah.
right,
I was
yes.
literally about to say the lady who used to date, I even forgot his name too. Oh, fuck. He's also in Fantastic Beasts.
Oh.
Credence from Fantastic Beasts. Kevin from We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Oh, Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller, yeah.
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 Anyways, so issue 36.
Issue
Jordan's
36.
covering this one.
Yes.
I'm interested to see who this villain is because I don't recognize him from the cover.
I never heard of the villain. Then again, I just realized that in all these issues, there's like a million villains.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't
Ever get another...
ever pop up in popular Spider-Man media.
No.
No, it's Amazing Spider-Man issue 36 on the front cover. It's Spidey fighting the villain who's unrecognizable. And I don't know how you could describe his costume.
Very weird. It's like white and purple.
And purple. When you find out what his name is and what his powers are, you're just kind of like, it's an odd costume to pick. Spidey, as you like him, in college, in trouble, in action.
You gotta say action 3 times.
Spidey,
Action,
as you
action.
like him. We like him in college and in trouble and in action. This issue's called When Falls the Meteor.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, so is he called the Meteor? Or is
No.
that just a metaphor for something?
No. Well, the first panel opens up with a meteor falling.
Oh, like a
in the
literal
middle.
meteor.
falling
Really a
Venom?
literal meteor, yeah.
in the middle of
pretty good.
nowhere, and a man by the name of Norton G. Fester, who's like some.
Disgusting name.
He's NGF. NGF, as they later abbreviate it to.
No.
He's
I was gonna do the abbreviation.
Yeah, go.
No, Gyros.
Gyros? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Gyros.
Gyros.
Yeah, you like the Greek food.
For me. No. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Well, Norton Fester's he's out in the field. He sees a meteor land, and then he's just like, "Oh, I knew it!" Like he's obviously like been trying to find this meteor. He picks up the meteor with his bare fucking hands.
Wow.
Just straight from space.
I'll have this.
But Norton G. Fester is soon to learn that it takes more than a craving for wealth to solve universal secrets these days. It also takes money. So he goes to all these different labs and he wants to get funding to research this meteor.
Yeah.
And everyone's rejecting him. Like these like white coat lab guys reject him, and he goes to the bank and they're just like, nah, you have to borrow money from somewhere else. And then he's so mad. And so it's just sort of like, all right, I'm gonna just go look. I'm gonna look into it myself. So he has a meteor in his house. Yeah. Now I remember.
That's the best idea ever.
I remember when I was a kid and learning about space and stuff, and people were like, "Oh, meteors, like you have to keep a distance and stuff like that."
Yeah.
This guy just
Radiation is a thing.
has it in his fucking living room, and I'm pretty sure is it a vacuum? No, it's not a vacuum cleaner, but it's just right there in his house.
Yeah.
So he gets a hammer and chisel.
But that's like also the one thing you don't want to do when you get a meteor in your house.
A meteor,
The
yeah.
science in these comics is very sound, guys.
So he goes, just because I flunked science in school doesn't mean I can't discover the secret of the universe. I'm as much chance as anyone else. Even if I can't raise money for a fancy lab and expensive equipment, I'll just chip away on my own, literally. Maybe I'll accidentally stumble over something like Isaac Newton. So he's got a hammer and chisel. He's about to do it. And then the panel says, like
You
the
guessed
notation
it,
says,
friend.
NGF, there it is. NGF is a part-time nut.
Yeah. Not.
Good old NGF. He chiseled into it, and he must have hit into a gas pocket as gas bursts out into his face. And just like in classic comic form, he's like, he's commentating what's happening. Everything is happening, you know? Can't breathe. It's choking me. Got to get away from it. The gas won't leave me. It's seeping right into my skin. And then, of course, naturally, we know what's happening. He's getting transformed and he feels different. He realizes that he's just like, oh, I feel different.
Does he become fart man?
Well, he calls it. Yeah, this is not the first time we hear the words gas pocket, so it's obviously something very important about the meteor. A cupboard has fallen onto his back. He takes it off and he realizes that the cabinet weighs at least 100 pounds. He has strength. And he's like, this is amazing. My strength has been multiplied many times. It must be the meteor gas. That's what affected me. This means goodbye to Norton G. Fester, professional failure.
He just names himself.
He admits himself. I'm Norton G. Fester, professional failure. Nice to meet you. And it means hello to what? So now he's thinking of like a name for himself. He goes, I need to examine myself more completely. So he feels good. He jumps high. He's like, oh, I can jump really high.
Double jump.
He does a double jump. Tap X twice. He goes, I'm too clever to waste such a golden opportunity and I can't stop testing my strength. I'm a powerhouse. And in his house, he's bending shit. He probably got the metal from where Molten Man used to live.
Why don't these bad guys just bend metal? Just like...
He's like Bruce Willis in Glass, dude.
So he's just like, never more will I have to worry about getting money when I want it. Not now with my superpower. The world can eventually belong to Norton G. Fester if I plan carefully. So we see, and we're about to find out, but it's a money thing for him, which, you know.
It always is.
It always is.
They have these like amazing powers and they just like hold up a bank with a gun and it's like, okay.
Thomas Hayden Church in Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
He wanted money for like a surgery, like for his daughter. Yeah. Doc Ock even wrote, because he needed money to fund his fucking weird Big Bang
Peter
collider.
needed money for his rent.
He just needs money just to pay electricity.
Yeah.
Rent? Yeah.
Mr. Ditkovich, underrated character.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was terrible. He just took his 20 out of his hand.
So
What
good.
an asshole.
Actually, no, but then, like, doesn't his daughter give him cake in the third one? Anyway.
The second one, yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's right, yeah.
It's a good bit.
So, NGF, our boy, is going to plan carefully. And we cut to then Peter in college. Now, Peter is thinking to himself, he's monologuing in his little, as they describe it, a silent swinging soliloquy. He's like,
That's fucking cool.
Whoa.
right, yeah, they fucking bloody Stanley. Due to my recent battles with Craven and the Molten Man, I've been forced to miss a lot of classes, and he's feeling sad because he's missed out on classes, he can't have a social life, and he's fearful that everyone has made friends by now, and that everyone's in groups and stuff like that. He tries to talk to some guys, and they all just ignore him, and he's feeling really alone. Just kind of like, oh, crap.
As you do when you're Peter Parker.
It's such a central thing to the Peter Parker story of him being a freaking sad boy.
Yeah.
You had James Franco as a friend. Like, at least that's something.
Yeah.
New one is Ned Leeds.
Yeah, he ruined that anyway. He ruined all that anyway.
Like James Franco.
What?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Gwen is walking by with a friend named... Have we met Sally before?
No.
Who's Sally?
Well, Sally
Harry
Green.
met Sally.
So, yes, that's Sally.
What's that actress's name?
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan, yeah. That's a good movie.
And it's now part of the MCU. Who would have
Exactly.
thought? Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan join the MCU.
Yeah, they're Harry Osborn and Sally, Gwen's friend.
So Sally and Gwen are walking by and Sally says, I think you're wrong about Parker being a snob, Gwen, and I'll prove it to you. And she's like, fine, go for it. Sally goes up and goes, hi, Peter. Remember me? I'm from your English lit class. May I talk to you? And Peter's like, sweet, awesome. Someone's talking to me. Great. And she's like, I'm having a get together at my place for the kids in the class. And then like Peter's like, oh, sweet, I'll come. And then this Sally girl is thinking, oh, wow, he's just as sweet as can be. And he's dreamy. And Peter's like, sweet, I've got friends now. And Gwen's in the distance watching, being like, I don't understand. I never thought it hit it off so well. She must have said the secret word.
Oh, someone's jealous.
What's that? What is the secret word thing?
Secret
Is that
word.
an expression that I'm not aware of?
No, I think it's just like, because she's heaps jealous, I think it's just
Oh,
like,
right. There must be some sort of secret. So.
yeah, she must have a secret word or something. Yeah.
Sally says to Peter, I was hoping you'd come because I'm so anxious to have at least one boy with brains instead of all those brawny athletic types. And this kind of gets to Peter because he's just like, am I always going to be thought of nothing but an egghead? And then Peter's offended and he's just like, I'll tell you what, Sally, if I can make it, I'll let you know. I might be pretty busy tonight.
Oh, cold.
Also,
He's like, before literally 5
He
minutes
just
ago.
had the opportunity.
He's just like,
know.
I have no friends. and
no.
now
Peter.
It's like that's what a friend does. They find the thing that's unique about you and they like you for it. And he's just like, no, screw you. I can still. I'm like Flash. I'm
Peter.
Yeah.
Also, he's pretty fit. Like, do people not see like how buff he is?
Yeah, I think he just dresses against himself there.
I guess it's how you present yourself, hey? Because like,
actually
there's some
think-
dudes who are like jacked, but you can't tell when they're the way
Yeah.
they're
There's a
dressed.
dude at my... I don't want to talk about... Okay, someone,
No,
anyway,
let's do it.
like, no, I know this person. Oh, never mind. Just stop.
I'll edit it out.
Yeah, please. Oh,
He's
I don't
most
want-
likely never going to listen to this unless you publicly share it on like social media.
Yeah.
You've plugged the podcast at your work, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
To customers.
Yeah, to customers, literally to customers. People who buy Spider-Verse
Spider-Man,
pops.
yeah.
Yeah, or comic books. I go, hey, I have a podcast.
Yeah, if
And
they
go,
buy Amazing Spider-Man comic
Right,
books, be
yeah.
like, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you should listen to this podcast in a few years' time when we reach this issue you bought.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, no, I know people that dress in like business attire and like you wouldn't expect them to like
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
the gym, but they actually are pretty like buff guys. Yeah.
You know what? If I'm not mistaken, I think later on in this issue, someone does comment on his physique. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's a spoiler, but you'll find out in a
Oh,
second.
yeah, that's happened before as well. Like, someone accidentally bumped into his arm or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, Flash, this guy's actually real buff. And Flash's like, I don't care.
And like he's an attractive dude. Like this Sally girl is thinking, oh, that dreamy smile. So
Yeah,
he-
exactly.
So he's got game.
It's all in his personality.
Yeah.
That's what's holding him back.
Yeah. He's
So-
just
I can
a
relate
bitch.
to that.
Sally's kind of annoyed. She was like, oh, I thought you were keen, but okay then. And then she goes back to Gwen, and then she's like, what the hell? You were right. And Gwen's like, I told you, he just snubs people. And then Peter's like, I hated to do that, but I had to. I don't want another Betty Brant situation developing again. So he's still pretty cut about that.
Yeah. Why does Gwen have like Tomb Raider original game tits?
They are.
She has like triangle tits, like cone tits.
She really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
60s bras, dude.
Yeah. Oh, 60s bras. Yeah.
Oh,
true.
of course. Yeah.
Shoulder pads and all
And
that stuff.
as Stanley writes here, okay, hearts and flowers time is over.
Oh, yes.
It's
here
the
we go.
60s, mate. They're in a bank. We're in a bank now. And then our NGF has now dressed up in a costume and he's robbing a bank the way these guys do. He introduces himself as the Looter.
The Looter.
Have you ever heard of him or see him in
No.
any other
No.
thing?
I reckon this is the last we see of the Looter.
Yeah, the first and last. Why does he have
His
like
costume's
clown
terrible.
eyes?
His
That's
costume,
why.
it reminds me of someone who doesn't remind me of... Oh, you know... Wait, who are you going to say?
No, I was going to say it looks like a Roblox character, but anyway.
It kind of... It's not like it, but you know in Deadpool, how the Juggernaut's got that dome-ish head?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the comparison stopped. Anyway.
I see it more like an insane clown posse fan.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
yeah.
So yeah, and he's robbing the bank. He knocks out security as you do, and then he's leaping very high. He's leaping 15 feet high, and he's like, "Stay back, all of you! I am no ordinary bank robber." And he thinks to himself, "It was a stroke of genius to employ this costume and the name Looter. The shock value alone earns me precious seconds."
This is what he's thinking about. Like,
So he's thinking to himself, "Oh, with my weird costume and my name, which I'll have to introduce myself first, I'll shock people enough, which will get me seconds
more.
seconds more."
Yeah.
Which in a way it did, because we just kind of stopped this podcast then and started talking about his costume.
We just gave him all those seconds.
He grabs the cash and he talks about his previously prepared dazzle light will afford me an effortless escape by momentarily blinding alone nearby. So he has a holster
spoilers.
on his belt, which has a light and a dazzle light, and he shines in front of everyone's face, and it's very, very bright, and everyone covers their eyes. It's essentially just a very powerful torch, and so that way he can
I love
steal
that.
shit. He grabs
Keep it
money,
simple.
he runs out. And then now he's realizing, he's thinking to himself, I was meant to be a criminal. I was never going to be a scientist. I am the looter. And so he goes back to his apartment and he's just like, sweet, I have money now. I'm going to rob another bank. It's going to be even bigger and better. And they sum it up in the next panel saying that, he eventually does, keep robbing places, lots of money. But of course, our spectacular Spider-Man's got to come in and save the day. Now, here's a question for you guys.
Yes.
What's with this webbing underneath his arms?
Yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man's costume.
I forget he
The
has
armpit
it
webs.
still.
Yeah.
wonder
In
when
some
it goes
panels,
away.
it's not there.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
others, it
Yeah.
is.
It doesn't have any practical use as far as I'm aware.
it doesn't. I think it's like because when Steve Ditko first drew Spider-Man, he always had those like armpit webs, and it's I don't.
Is that to help with something?
No, it's never really been explained.
It's just sort of like, I'm a spider, look.
Yeah, look, I've got wings.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably like to help him swing.
It
I
has a
don't know.
use in the MCU. It helps him glide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like that kind of thing. But then
But
again,
no.
it's like you literally can swing around.
Yeah. In this, if he wants to glide, he just shoots webs and makes like a parachute or something.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does stupid shit like that all the time.
So Spider-Man's on the hunt because obviously he's heard about this looter guy, and he's worried that he's like because he's missing out on study hours, but like I can't take chances. I have to go try and find this guy, and I'd sure like to see how that dazzle light of his works. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's just a light. It probably runs out of battery and
Dazzle
shit
light.
too.
Yeah.
Back in NGF's apartment, he realizes that there's no more gas left inside his meteor, which means that so yeah, it's now implied that he needs that for constant power. Like he needs
so
to
he
keep.
breathes that in all the time.
Yeah, it must be
Like an asthma puffer that gives you powers.
like Bane. He just turns into Bane.
he just turns into Bane. Yeah.
And now that
His mask is kind of Bane-esque.
Yeah, I guess.
Classic Bane.
Do a
Anyways.
Bane impression. Go.
I'm Bane.
Okay, that's enough.
that was a rooster attempting to do a Bane impression. So that's happening, and then Peter Parker is on a night off, and he's just like, it's too early to go searching for the looter tonight. I might as well kill some time in here. There's a space exhibit on. He's going to go into the space exhibit, take some time and chill. Turns out that Gwen Stacy is also there.
girl.
And she sees him and she's like, oh my God, it's Peter Parker. And she's like, I wonder if this is fate. It could be my chance to really get to know him. I could accidentally bump into him inside. I'll do it. Now, sorry, like, what's the history with these two so far? Like, is it implied that she is like crushing on him?
So basically,
Yeah,
they're both new at college, and Peter Parker, because of many things to do with Spider-Man and his life, has been ignoring everyone, and nobody ignores Gwen Stacy. So she has this kind of personal vendetta against him because she's like, this Peter Parker's the only guy who can't not keep his eyes off of me. Yeah.
So naturally, she's drawn to him. It's
Yeah.
that's a very common thing when it's like, oh, with girls, pretend you don't care.
Yeah. And then they'll just come to you.
No,
yeah.
yeah, that was come to you.
Yeah.
They're inside the space exhibit, lots of space stuff around, like spaceships, and for the 60s, I guess it must be a very, very interesting place. And Peter's really into the stuff, and Gwen's looking at him from afar, being like, he's really into this. Like, has he seen me? It's like, I can't tell whether he saw me and is ignoring me, or whether he just hasn't noticed me. Peter sees in the exhibit a newly discovered meteorite fragment, which looks a lot like the meteorite that NGF found.
Bruh.
Directly outside the window, you see the looter. He's like hiding outside the window of the building where the exhibit is, and he sees that's what he's looking for, the new meteor, and he's obviously going to try and steal that. If it has a gas pocket, he can get some power. The looter enters, and Peter's just like, oh crap, it's him. I can't let him get away. So he runs off to change into Peter Parker. And then Gwen sees Peter running away, and she's like, what a coward. He's frightened. And so, which by the way, like Gwen, like, yes, when someone is robbing a place, what are you?
Yeah. Like how she doesn't run away. She's like, oh, she's frightened.
Yeah. Like, what? Like Gwen's going to try and save the day.
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. Yeah. Hey guys.
Foreshadowing.
Squander.
Gwanda.
I was mad crushing on her. I hate the fact that I still have crushes on animated
No,
characters.
same. Honestly, same. Hey.
Every single girl with the dude from Tangled.
Oh,
Rider.
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to think of
Flow Rider.
Flow Rider.
Flow Rider. I am also ashamed that I crush on Flow Rider as well.
What happened to him?
I don't want to know.
Him, Akon, Sean Kingston, where'd they all go?
They went
The
to
Holy
Ralph.
Trinity.
The holy trinity of
They're
the...
the three horsemen of the apocalypse.
3.
Yeah.
Who's the 4th?
Oh, surely it's got to be Jason Derulo. Oh,
XX.
The guy who sang Despacito.
Louis something. Fonzie or Louis de Fonz or something like that.
well, I
Louis
don't know his
Armstrong.
name. I just know it as like a Justin Bieber track, but it's not.
It's not. His
No.
name is Louis de Fonzie or something.
Look. All I know is that when
Fonz.
Pitbull came out, when Pitbull was the artist who did the song for Men in Black 3, I think Satanists everywhere was just like, this is the beginning of phase 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then phase 3 was when he released Africa by Toto, but a cover of
Aquaman.
it.
Yeah.
For Aquaman.
He's moving up in the world.
Yeah.
That
Men in Black
Pitbull.
International coming out, they better have a song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They better-
honestly.
They'll bring back Will Smith.
They better
probably.
bring him back.
I reckon they will because he's not relevant, but he's a bit of a meme now.
If he has all that time to make YouTube videos, he definitely has
Just
time
get
to
in the
be Men
frame.
Black.
I'm sick
Yeah.
of saying
Jaden
that.
Smith will do the Men in Black song.
Yeah, get in the frame,
Oh,
Willow.
of course. With
We
his
got the Men in Black,
boyfriend,
Men in
Tyler,
Black.
the creator.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I'm down for that.
can't
Tyler,
wait for
he
them.
did the soundtrack for Grinch.
Oh yeah. They could
Oh my
team up.
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the
Men in Black,
2019.
Men in Black, Men in Black. We're good. That's who's gonna be Men in Black.
All right, where are we?
So Looter is
Punching people.
causing havoc. He's taking out security in the space exhibit. Hold it, Looter. Your running days are over. And Looter's like, who? Spider-Man's in town. He's here. He shines the light. And it's like, Spider-Man, what's he doing here? And naturally, we know what happens. Spider-Man decides to fight him. He works out his powers. He works out that he's quite strong. Looter is quite strong. And then he's like, I'll need my wits this time as much as my power. And then they have a bit of a punch on and lots of banter, like lots of witty banter,
Oh, yeah.
lots of the like that's one of my favorite things about
Quips.
Spider-Man is just
Yeah, the quips.
his jokes.
Yeah.
They're pretty whack in the 60s, but he
Yeah.
gives it a go.
Yeah, they're pretty whack in the Sam Raimi
You know,
trilogy.
my favorite quips are the ultimate
homophobic.
Spider-Man quips. Whenever he versus Kingpin, he's like, "Hey, you're fat!" Like literally,
Oh, yeah.
just like all the time, just like just makes fat jokes. Yeah,
It's so early 2000s of him.
Yeah, it's so
He's probably
early 2000s.
transphobic as well.
yeah.
They
Anyways.
keep fighting in the exhibit, and the Looter is like, he chucks this giant, large ornament thing, which Spidey realizes is quite of value, and so he tries to save it. And so he chases after him through the exhibit, and then pretty much Spidey, he's realizing that he's pretty tough. He's a bit of a hard fight, but then the Looter brings out his amazing dazzle light, which it shines on everyone and everyone's blinded. But then Spidey shuts his eyes and uses his spider
The classic trick. Didn't he do this once before?
Shuts his eyes.
For,
his eyes.
what was that dude, the Ringmaster?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just covered his ears or something like that.
No, he
Closes his eyes.
The Ringmaster
Yeah.
was like, I'm not possessing him, hypnotizing
Hypnotizing
Spider-Man.
you, and he
there's
just
this
closes his eyes.
Yeah, there's this thought bubble where it's like, he doesn't suspect my eyes are closed under this mask.
Well, that's the thing about, because I was reading about the Spidey suit, the original one, and like those, he has lenses on the on his eyes and stuff like that, which I think later on he adapts to stop him from like these kinds of things. Maybe this is where he gets the idea. Shutting his eyes and trusting his spider sense also works.
Yeah.
As he shut his eyes, he realizes that Looter has escaped. And then everything's all, smashed and destroyed. And then everyone's eyesight's slowly coming back. And Spider's like, crap, I better get out of here or everyone will blame me like they always do. The Looter's gone and he's just like, damn, I lost him. And then thus, as it says here, a few minutes later, he thinks, I might as well go back and see the rest of the exhibit. Just as he fought and destroyed everything in
Peter
there.
Parker.
I might as well finish this.
I like how he just wants to look at a fucked up display of the exhibit. It's like burning and shit.
What is it that painting used to be?
Yeah.
And then now he spots Gwen Stacy. He's like, say, I know her. She's Gwen Stacy. She's a freshman at ESU also. Hi, Gwen. Enjoying the exhibit? And she's like, I was until now, Parker. And her speech bubble has like melty bits at the end,
is it
which
like
shows
icy?
that she's like really, she's not happy. And he's like, what do you wrong? And she goes, perhaps it's what you didn't do. And she thinks that you didn't try and say to help. And then Peter's like really weirded out. And then she's like, she's like, oh, what a coward. And she walks off.
Oh, right.
NGF.
Little does she know what's going to happen to her end of her life.
Gwanda.
Yeah.
So NGF is annoyed that that was a bit of a bust, that thing. Because I failed to take into account that someone like Spider-Man might be there. Because he still hasn't got that meteor. So he's kind of annoyed by it. And the next thing he does is he dresses up in his normal civilian clothing and he goes and essentially he's casing the exhibit, which is still open. You think after running like that, they'd have some, they'd shut it down. They have armed guards.
Same day.
Yeah. They have armed guards there now and it's like interesting. Back in Peter World, Peter is back at college and Flash says to him, hey, puny Parker, none of the other guys are here yet. How'd you like to toss the old pigskin around? And he's like, can't stop now, Flash. Anyway, if I out through you, you'd have a fit. And then Gwen and Flash and the other Sally Green girl, they all have a bit of a laugh at Peter. And Peter's annoyed. He's just like, why do I always get interested in girls that can't see me for dust? So they're pretty mean to pretty mean to him.
Yeah, bullies pretty much.
Later on, he's back. Pardon me. He's back as Spider-Man. He goes back to the exhibit to find out why Looter went there. Like he wants to know, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sure he'll be back." So, but the Looter. So yeah, he keeps an eye on the exhibit, but the Looter doesn't show up the next night or the next. However, at the end of the week, when the exhibit is about to close, we find the Looter. The exhibit's closing up and it's moving, and he's like, great, my timing is perfect. And so Looter decides to go in and he attacks the guys who are moving the meteor. And then so he, I'm assuming scares them away. He ties up the meteor. And then Spider-Man swings in and he's like, hey, Looter, you wouldn't leave without saying bye-bye to your old sparring partner, would you? And it's like, Spider-Man, but how?
Spider-Man.
And he goes, it's a long story, but if you're really interested, and it's not really a long story, pretty much you're just keeping an eye on the place. You were clearly there for something. And then Spider-Man sees the Looter taking off with the meteor, and Spidey's confused as to why he wants the meteor. And what the Looter has done is he has a helium balloon in his backpack. He attached a helium balloon to his whole caboodle. And then the Looter, as he's floating up into the air, he goes, farewell, fool. You were beaten by a superior intellect.
Oh my god, this would be so funny to watch.
Yes. And so Spider-Man climbs up the wall and, because he's ascending higher and higher into the sky. Now, Spider-Man, again, he, has these powers where he can jump and swing. So it's not too hard for him to catch up to him. He catches onto him and they have a bit of a fight. So he uses his web to attach onto the balloon. They have a bit of a punch on. The webbing comes loose off the helium balloon because it's slippery, apparently. It's made of molten man, apparently. He falls.
It's made of molten man.
He catches onto his leg. So they're ascending high into the air and the Looter shakes his leg to get him off. And Peter, I love this. He goes, why is it that everyone I fight is overflowing with neurotic hostility? That's
what he's contemplating as he's like.
Yeah. And then So he actually punches the looter out, and the looter passes out. He takes off the mask, and he sees Norton G. Fester's real face. And Peter says, "No wonder he wore a mask. He sure wouldn't cop any beauty prizes."
Oh,
Just a bit of a dig.
Yeah, that's
At this
after he
dude.
punched him in the face repeatedly. He's like, "Oh, wouldn't win any
You're also
beauty
quite
prizes."
ugly. That's the thing about all these villains. They have neurotic hostility, but they're also extremely insecure. Hey, Kingpin, you're fat. It's like, oh.
Yeah, sure. Oh, fuck you
No
up.
wonder Vanessa left you. Oh.
Oh. No wonder Vanessa drove head on into traffic with your son in the car.
You didn't have to reveal yourself as a crime overlord. You could have just,
Yeah.
So he then decides to bust the helium balloon enough so it floats down to the, thing. And then the cops are already waiting down below, conveniently enough. So the helium balloon deflates and then it drops NGF into the police's hands. And then Peter's there. He shines the light and the Spidey light, and he goes, "I still don't know why he wanted that meteor, but I'll read about it in the paper tomorrow. In Jameson's paper with my photos in it, I hope." The end.
His fucking logic, dude.
The next panel says, coming next, the menace of the rampaging robots.
Enough said.
I love how it doesn't really have a wrap up like these usually do. It kind of just ends.
It just, I think it was, I liked the battle, that last battle though, up in the air. I don't know. It was kind of.
Yeah, so it says
Interesting.
they're the rampaging robots, and I was kind of like, I was expecting like more of the looter, like more of Norton Fester, but I guess that's how these go.
No, it's another completely different villain,
Right. Well, we're at an hour 30, which is our usual time limit. So it's up to
leave
you.
this one for next time then?
It's up to you if you want to skim through it within 10 minutes.
I can't. No. Yeah, let's just
We'll
leave
cover
it
it
for
next week.
time.
That's all good.
Leave this on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, leave it.
Rampaging robots.
Robots, yeah.
Rampaging robots.
One of them
Can't wait.
doesn't even look like a robot. One of them just looks like a booger. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was about.
yeah. Anyway,
Cool. So what was your faves this week from what you heard? Because you didn't read either of them.
yeah, I
so
didn't read either of them. Yeah, I don't know. I like that one because I was following along. With your one, I didn't for some reason. With your one, I was just
Because
like,
nothing happened in the Molten
and
Man
you were
one, to
kind
be
of skimming
honest.
through. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, could we ever see, like, what do you think it would take to have a Molten Man on screen or a Looter on screen? Looter? No. Looter's a really terrible
Looter
villain.
at best would be like he pops up in the prologue and Spider-Man beats him, and then you go into the movie.
Yeah.
The only thing he has is just super strength from a meteor,
Yeah, that he fucking whiffs.
that he whiffs, and then a dazzle light. It's just like,
That's
like,
whack.
what were you
And
thinking?
the helium backpack, don't forget.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, if we
The
can get
helium
that.
backpack. I
I-
would love to see that on screen.
At best, it would be during like a montage of Spider-Man just like taking out
Bad guys.
villains.
Yeah.
Look, if
and you see him in
Endgame,
like a shot, and Spider-Man goes,
All
whack.
right, real question. Who would play the Looter? Okay, what actor?
well,
can
let's
you think?
describe the face. He had like a little goatee thingy, and
Yeah.
he seemed to have reddish hair.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe, make your glorious
That'd
return
be pretty good.
just to
the
Marvel
Looter,
as
like
the
the
Looter.
worst Spider-Man villain. Yeah.
I feel like in Endgame, say if everyone somehow gets brought back, from Thanos' 50% of the universe, Looter won't come back. That's how crap of a
Yeah,
villain
no,
he is.
yeah.
No one
Looter
cares
just-
about the Looter.
Yeah. That's so sad. We've been bullying him the whole time.
But what about Molten Man's kind of cool.
He's
Yeah.
he's in Far From Home. So
Yeah.
He's going to
Oh,
be in
yes,
Far From Home.
that's right. Yeah.
Or at least a version of
Yeah, a
him.
version of the Molten Man.
He could be a illusion from Mysterio.
He could be.
I
But
reckon he might still call him like the Molten Man though. They'll name drop Molten Man somewhere in there.
yeah.
Did they ever call him the Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming?
Like literally call
Yeah.
him
Was
the
he ever
Vulture?
like, I'm the Vulture?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Did Spider-Man ever call him the Vulture?
No.
I'm sure someone did.
I love
He calls him
watching
Big
the
Bang.
way these superhero movies they work out a way so not in like a cheesy way to get the character's name in there. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of the Spider-Man films, I think Jameson, the Raimi ones, Jameson just names them.
Yeah, it's usually
like I
the
think he
Bugle.
called them Doc Ock. Yeah,
Yeah.
The Bugle named him Doc Ock, and I think Amazing Spider-Man 2, he's just like, I'm Electro. He just decides that.
Yeah, he just says
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he goes.
Yeah.
I'm Electra.
Yes.
I don't like it when the characters give themselves the name.
Yeah.
I like it when it comes from like somewhere else and they kind of just run with it. Like in Iron Man, he doesn't call himself Iron Man. The newspaper the next day says like, "Who was the Iron Man?"
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Yeah, Sandman never got a name. He was just some giant sand monster.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah,
It's like,
sand.
he's
I
a
like how
Sandman.
Molten Man and Sandman kind of have similar origin stories. They like experiment gone wrong. Like they were somewhere they weren't supposed to be.
Well,
And
that's
then
a lot
like,
of the Spider-Man
yeah.
villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic Four, the Chris Evans ones. Like
Yes.
Johnny Storm names them all. Like I don't know what it's like in the comics, but he's just sort of like, because he's doing a news report on TV and he's just like, that's Mr. Fantastic.
I'm pretty sure in the comics they give themselves the names, if I'm not mistaken. Like in the very first issue, they're like, "Oh, I can turn invisible. I'll call myself the Invisible Girl." Yeah, something like that.
Do you guys know the comedian Norm Macdonald?
Oh,
I'm
I've
familiar with
heard.
the name, but I've never,
Yeah, you would have seen him in a few Adam Sandler movies. He used to be on SNL.
Ah, right.
He has a sketch on a CD that he recorded, and it's the Fantastic Four naming themselves. And
Okay.
he plays what's his name? What's Mr. Fantastic's real name?
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards. He's like, "Hey, you're an invisible girl. Well, yeah, you turn invisible. You'll be the invisible girl. You can become flames, so naturally you're the Human Torch, and you look a big monstrous thing. You're the Thing, and I'll be Mr.
Right.
Fantastic."
Mr.
And they're like, "Wait a second, hang on a second.
Why
Yeah,
are you Mr. Fantastic?
I'll send it to you. It's pretty funny because they're just like, "Oh, you get to be Mr.
I'd
Fantastic."
love
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah, that's so good. All right, Mr. Fantastic.
Like,
Yeah.
your thing is stretchy limbs.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fucking
Yeah.
Actually, should we say on the podcast, our next commentary track we're thinking will be Fantastic Four.
Yeah, the original Fantastic Four. Yeah,
The Tim Story classic.
I'm
from
very excited.
2005.
I'm so
I reckon
excited.
that'll be a fun one.
That got a sequel too.
It did.
It got a
It
sequel.
did, Silver
with,
Surfer, which
The sequel has enjoyable bits.
Lawrence Fishburne, I think.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne voiced him, and Doug Jones played
The Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creature Man.
Because they just brought back, like, in the 2014 Fantastic Four,
Yeah,
the
something-
villain
something.
was Doctor Doom again. And
Yeah.
I was like, who are the villains of you guys?
I know they keep botching Doctor Doom as well.
But the Fantastic Four, they have the Skrulls, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have so many
have
villains.
so
They just
many
keep doing
villains.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah. In
And not very well.
in back to that original Activision Spider-Man game, there's a thing where like you can just like look at the characters in it
That
and
fan
it
is really loud.
shows. Has that been coming up on the podcast or?
No, it just glitched. All right, it should be fine.
You won't hear it much anyway because
Yeah.
the
I was
mics
gonna
are
say,
facing
yeah.
this way. Yeah.
All right, continue.
Oh yeah, like you just select the character of Human Torch and then like they say a line.
Yeah.
Scorpion's just and then he goes, "Sorry, I can't help you, Spidey, because we're taking care of Mole Man."
Oh yeah, the Mole Man. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, is he a popular?"
Nobody's gay for Mole Man.
Mole Man's like probably one of the most iconic Fantastic Four villains. He was actually meant to be in that Michael B. Jordan
Really?
Miles Teller one in like an original script, but because that movie was butchered in
By-
post and then
yeah.
reshot and all that stuff, it never happened.
I
'Cause,
really
like-
liked the premise of like. Oh, sorry, you keep going.
I was just gonna say because you know how there's no action scenes in that movie.
Yeah, literally.
There was like 3 big action set pieces they cut out. One of them was like a fight in New York with the Mole Man, and another one was like the Fantastic car, like their car that they use to like time travel, well, not time travel, but like interdimensional travel and
Fantastic
stuff.
car.
Because Reed Richards is supposed to be the most intelligent character
Yeah.
in the MCU, which is like he gets nerfed so hard. I feel
know.
like by like the
But
rest of the
There's meant to be a scene with the Fantastic
not the
car where
MCU,
they
sorry,
yeah,
in the
just
Marvel,
the Marvel universe.
Yeah, fuck my life.
But there's meant to be a scene with the Fantastic car where they go back to like the negative zone where they got their powers and stuff. But that was cut out. You can actually see like behind the
What?
scenes like
they
clips.
go back to it.
Yeah. There's meant to be like behind the scenes clips where there is behind the scenes clips where you can see like the car like on set in front of like a green screen and they're like filming the
what?
scenes.
They cut so much out
Yeah,
then.
I think it was budgetary stuff because they're like, we don't want to do all the VFX.
Who was the
Wow.
director again of that?
Josh Trank.
Yeah, I remember he posted a Twitter thing
Yeah.
saying he apologized for his film. It's just like, I'm sorry, guys. The studio just
Yeah.
completely.
He said,
Because I thought I would
Yeah.
like it because I thought it was going to be like Fantastic Four, but kind of like a more thriller
Yeah.
version of it because
There's-
like
It just looked cooler and darker.
yeah,
you can see like where it could have been good, like
Yeah.
where he was trying to go with it. But I think halfway through they realized no one's gonna like a stupid body horror David Cronenberg version of Fantastic Four.
But who
so they
wouldn't
reshot
like
the.
that?
I know, I would have loved that, but
yeah.
they reshot the ending so it goes all stupid like the Tim Story ones.
Yeah.
And the last scene, they're naming themselves and they're like, "What should we call ourselves?"
Oh my god.
And the thing's like, I don't know. I think this whole thing's pretty fantastic, though.
Oh my gosh.
Reed Richards is like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Fantastic." And he's like, "I got the perfect name for us, boys." Cuts to credits. The Fantastic Four. Bum, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Whatever the song was on that.
I really did like that scene though, where it's like they come back from the space station
Yeah.
and they're all
That's
like,
the best bit.
Yeah, like that, because to me that's what that movie was supposed to be. It was meant to be like a horror kind of thriller, weird, like all this fucked up shit's happening to them. It's like, imagine if you actually could stretch out really far. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh cool, you'd be like, I want to die. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And does Reed have strength? Or like, is that because here's the thing? Because he can stretch, cool.
Yeah.
But if you got punched by the thing, wouldn't you just fucking die? Or is the idea that like because he can stretch like muscles to be bigger or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
like
Because he can like
if
throw
he gets
a punch.
punched, it's just like elastic. Like,
like rubber. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So like he can throw a
so
punch
it's
across the
malleable,
room, and
yeah.
it would just be like it would be more powerful technically because it's like
Yeah.
throwing like a, I don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine-
No, that's right. And he does get punched, and because he's like malleable. Yeah, that's like someone. I was watching Spider-Man clips today on YouTube, and someone commented about Doc Ock. If he got punched by Spider-Man in the head,
he'd be knocked
lights
out
out.
cold.
I mean,
Yeah.
like just because you have arms, like they're strong, but you aren't.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because the very first
That's
issue
interesting.
Doc Ock is in, Spider-Man defeats him by just punching him in the head.
Yeah. It's literally his like, he pins him down with all his arms and he just breaks an arm free and he just goes,
And he's like, "Wow, my toughest villain just got defeated by a punch in the head. Who would have thought?"
yeah, it's interesting. Like, imagine, so if like Spider-Man punched me in the head, would my skull crack? Like, would I die? Like,
Yeah, unless he's
'cause-
holding back.
yeah. He
Like,
would've-
his strength. You're sort
Yeah.
of like,
He lifted a building off of himself. Like, let's just talk about that. Like, he's pretty strong.
yes,
Yeah.
that was crazy strong.
Yeah.
And like the train thing is still insane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine how that. But also, like, you know, like he can take some damage. Like, yeah.
He probably pulls a lot of his punches. I don't think he like I don't think he ever wants to kill anyone. That's why he doesn't ever kill anyone. You know what I mean? He doesn't like aim to kill, because I reckon if he wanted to, he could easily kill anyone.
Yeah. Well, that's like in the Garfield movies. In the Garfield movies, he eats lasagna and
Bill Murray.
he
He's
hates
great in those.
he hates Mondays. No, in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, when he's brushing his teeth, doesn't
Oh,
he
yeah.
break the tub?
Yeah,
So it's like,
Oh, yeah, that's
so you
right.
have
he breaks his alarm clock.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I'm gonna
breaks all
watch those
kinds.
again.
Oh.
You aren't a fan of them? You like Raimi's? Well, you like Holland better
It goes
because it's at least part of the.
Raimi,
Raimi,
Holland,
Spider-Man 2.
Garfield.
Oh man.
I love. That's my favorite.
Right.
Are we going by each movie or?
I'll do my quick ranking. So it's
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 3, and then down here, real towards the floor, is the Andrew Garfield ones.
Yeah.
Well, where's Homecoming?
Oh yeah, Homecoming.
6.
Around where Spider-Man 3 is.
Why didn't you like the Garfield movies?
I think
Because
Not
Bill
because of
Murray let
Garfield.
himself go.
outside of like
Bill Murray.
outside of like all the Sony interference stuff, just making it all feel very product-ish and not
The script
like
was just
someone's
not,
vision.
yeah.
Sure.
But I feel like it didn't quite nail the character of Spider-Man,
Did you
especially
like-
that first one.
Did you like Dane Dion as?
Yeah,
Harry?
the thing is,
I
the
loved
cast
I
is
liked him as Harry.
the cast is great. I
Cast
think
was
Mark,
great.
Mark Webb had a lot of potential as a
I
director for
love
those.
Emma
Stone
Stone
is
as
Stone.
great. She was
exactly.
great. Yeah. Sally Field.
Sally
as
Field's
Aunt May.
so good as
I was
Aunt
so
May.
happy with
Oh
that.
my God.
Yeah,
But it's
'cause-
literally, continue.
Because Mark Webb directed 500 Days of Summer,
Oh,
which is
such a
all
good
about
movie.
like relationships and all that stuff. And I thought he would have been great
Another movie with great casting.
handling that stuff.
Also, I'm really bad about it. My girl Felicity Jones
Yeah,
as Felicia Hardy.
Yeah.
She was just little.
they just botched it.
Little wink, little
She has a
nod.
weird accent in that though. Have you noticed?
yeah.
She sounds like the mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. She's like, Oh, you have to if you watch it back, listen to her accent. It's so weird. Yeah.
I actually haven't played Spider-Man PS4, but is Black Cat in that?
Yes,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
in the
She's just a
DLC.
staple of every Spider-Man game.
She's so
Yeah,
hot,
yeah.
dude.
We need her in a movie. Let's get
Yeah.
her in a movie, man.
Bring back
Yeah.
Felicity Jones.
Yeah.
Bring back Felicity Jones. Yeah, I mean, you know,
Really?
oh well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like man, Black Cat, like she's
Black Cat's my favorite, but I don't want Felicity Jones to play her.
yeah,
She's really bad at doing an American accent. I'm going to put that out there. When you go to watch the new movie that she's in on the basis of sex, you're going to notice when you listen to
yeah.
that. Even in the trailer, her accent's whack. Like it's an amazing, like she does great performances and stuff, but she can't do an American
Very
accent.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's amazing Spider-Man movies. Not a big fan. The thing is, I was a big fan of them when they came out. Like when I saw them in cinemas, I was like, "This is good stuff." But
because at least we're
my,
getting Spider-Man on screen again.
yeah, I think just my like what I want out of a Spider-Man story has changed a lot since then. Like I'm more critical of it now, especially that first one. Like I feel like
yeah.
Spider-Man origin story is like one of like the best like ever, and I feel like it doesn't get that right at all.
In the Garfield, yeah, the robber in the convenience store.
Yeah, and it's done in a way where like he was destined to get bitten by the spider.
Yeah,
Like in
his
Amazing
backstory is
Spider-Man
really
2.
weird. Yeah, it's not just by chance he gets bitten.
It's really convoluted and
Yeah.
overcomplicated, and it's not just like he was at a place one day and he gets bitten, because that's the whole point. Like anyone
Could
it could have
be.
been anyone. It just happens to be Peter Parker, and yeah,
It's kind of like Miles' origin.
yeah,
They just happen to be the
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And I feel like that movie doesn't have the turning point where he learns with great power comes great responsibility. They skip over it because he
With
doesn't
great
find Uncle Ben's
ability
killer.
comes great accountability.
Yeah, he looks for Uncle Ben's killer for a good 20 minutes of that movie, right?
And never finds him.
And then they just drop that
Yeah.
to fight the lizard.
Yeah.
Then the last scene of the movie is he punches the lizard real hard while he tries to shoot a toxin into the air that will turn New York into lizards.
And Mr. Stacy dies.
Yeah, it gets real stupid for a movie that's trying to be all realistic, doesn't it?
Let's bring back Topher Grace as Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Best Eddie Brock, dude.
The best Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Also,
Not a good Venom, but the best Eddie Brock.
did you
Well.
guys? I mean, you obviously
Mike's-
did a commentary of it, but did you like? You don't have to go into it, but did you like the Venom movie?
No. Oh,
Yeah,
It's-
from what I've seen,
I liked
Not
it
a
for
fan.
not good reasons. You know what I mean? It's entertaining in a way, but it's just like yeah.
it's just the bare minimum of like what a movie should be.
What I do like about it
what a
though
movie should be.
is like something like we figured out when we watched it for the commentary track is that it literally like it takes. What I don't like that it takes so long to get the movie going, but when it's going, it goes. You know what I mean? It's like it just doesn't stop. He's literally just a sweaty fucking hot mess the whole movie until the end.
But
yeah,
you can't have him without Spidey. That's the thing. You got to get, and then they fucking bring in spoiler alert, but a fucking Woody Harrelson as who can dip his toes into quite literally anything these days.
Yeah.
As Carnage, I'm just sort of like, if you make this like I don't know, man. I feel like
it's being made, so you know we're
Woody
gonna
Harrelson
see
looks
it.
terrible.
He
with that
looks like
wig.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, I didn't.
didn't look
I
right.
didn't enjoy that at
Just-
all.
I did not want to see him in a red
Why
wig.
couldn't it just
yeah.
be Woody Harrelson without a wig? Why'd they have to do that?
Why do they have to
look
make
like-
him look like the male version of Wendy's logo?
It looks like they bought it like 5 minutes before they started filming as well. Like Woody Harrelson rocked up on set and they're like, some like producer or something was like, wait, in the comics he's meant to have red hair, and they're like,
an afro,
fine.
apparently.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we should wrap the podcast
Yeah,
up.
true. Yes.
You guys got anything to plug or to mention?
Not really. You go.
Got anything coming up?
Yeah, I do. I guess. What is it's January, right? So it's not for
Yeah.
a while yet.
Okay.
In May, yeah, okay. Like I don't. Normally, don't have anything to plug, but I will say this now. In May, the Anywhere Theatre Festival is a thing. It's a
Alright.
theatre festival
Nice.
around town, and I'm in a play called "How to Save Earth from an Alien Birth and Other Cosmic
very
Affairs."
good.
It's an absurdist comedy play, and it's set in space. So
Love that
if you're a
title.
fan of Saga and a fan
Yeah.
of Guardians of the Galaxy and a fan of Star Wars and anything
Yeah.
space related, it's going to be a funny play, and it's happening in May. And
Ooh,
yeah,
Cool.
How to Save Earth from an Alien Birth.
nice.
No, so if you're around Brisbane or in May, go check that out.
And if
3
you
months
see
away.
me at one of the screenings, please wish me a happy birthday because my birthday's in May. So yeah,
You're not going to say which date though. You just have to
Yeah.
guess.
You have to guess. Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I'll get you guys into the show like for free.
Hell yeah! Not the listeners though. You guys
Yeah,
have to
you
pay.
guys don't. Yeah.
Unless they use like a promo code.
Oh yeah.
We're
Now you have to
giving our
guess what the promo
listeners-
code is.
All right. You got anything?
Not really. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
All right. I'll just quickly. I don't have much to plug. I'll just plug my YouTube channel, movies or whatever, because I plan to release the top 15 films of 2018 soon. I just have to catch up on like a few more ones that I missed, and then I'll make the list. So yeah, that will be coming up soon.
Are we going to plug Roommates?
Oh yeah, we'll plug Roommates because I said we'd do that. Let's also plug Roommates short film. It's going to be hitting its festival run very soon throughout the year, and you can find that on Facebook and Instagram. Roommates short film, I believe it is. I'll double check that. It's either Roommates short film or Roommates GFS short film, but it'll be like a logo that's got
Yellow.
yellow, and it's got little icons on it of people's faces. You'll know it when you see it. But yeah, it's a little comedy film I co-directed, very proud of.
Which
And it
Jordan
stars
stars in.
Jordan in it as the titular, not the titular.
Well, one of the roommates.
One of the titular roommates.
titular
Yeah,
roommates,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's Roommates short film on Instagram. And on Facebook, I believe it's the same thing.
And they were roommates. Oh my
my
god.
God,
they were roommates.
Now Claudia has to listen to this.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
legally
Facebook, it's
obliged.
Roommates GFS short. There you go. So we're not very on brand with naming, but that's okay. So if you want to support the podcast, though, you can do so at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Peter Palmer Pod, and also on Gmail at not at Peter Palmer Pod, peterpalmerpod at gmail.com.
Yes.
If you want to send us some hate mail,
Any suggestions for our next
fan
commentary
art,
track?
yeah,
Fan art, yeah.
recommendations, free
Fan
stuff.
art of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what we look like, but you can give it a go.
believe, artists' conception of what you guys
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that'd be
do.
interesting.
Our Instagrams are on the Peter Palmer Instagram.
Yeah, but if they have to look into it, mine's on private, so
Oh, mine isn't. Lol.
yeah, they know what you look like.
Yeah.
So guess what I look like? Whoever is
That's not
the
what I look
closest.
like. I'm just catfishing.
You look like Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. I hope.
Spider-Gwen catfishing.
Whoever's
Yeah.
the closest, I'll send you a special issue, signed issue of the Amazing Spider-Man.
Signed by us.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you for episode 12, where we finally cover issue 37 that I'm meant to cover this week,
Yep.
and 38 and 39.
And you get
Hey.
to witness me slap Mike in the face. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, we're recording it
Yep.
video as well.
Yep. Bye.
Looking forward to it. Good night.